is you. To access is you, you have to move Baba.
No, but add it on top of that. Add.
Oh, Crab and Baba is you.
Right. So can we add? Can we do?
That's so simple. Why did we do that like an hour ago? No, that's right. That's probably right. That's probably right. Oh my god.
I don't know, but how do we get to do that?
Okay, but okay, hold on. Hold on. This may or may not be solving it. But I'm not looking at chat. I'm not looking at chat till I hear this. But is solving that by that way, and not like you, but like it's just solving? Do you find that mentally rewarding to like stumble upon that?
A little bit. If that is actually the way that if we can get rid of the star and then the skull and then become.
Okay.
Crab and Baba is you.
So star is sync is not there. We want star is push. Oops. Then we want star is sync. Okay. Then we want Crab and Baba is you. Does that work? We'll find out. So rock is push.
I don't know how we're gonna get the and though in there.
Why? Just
go over here. How are we gonna get?
Move that up.
Okay. Yeah. You have to move it around.
Shit. Can't move it over.
No, because then you can go up around and one down. Yeah.
So
but
there, yeah.
But you do need to, yeah. Okay, now just go down. 3 hours later.
Fuck that one. That one's super unsatisfying. Least satisfying one yet.
I'm so embarrassed.
Why? Why does it make you embarrassed?
It took that long.
First try, chat. First try.
Time to drink.
Time to fucking do something.
Cheers.
Not. Don't disagree, Boosterdamus. Don't disagree. Cheers.
Thanks, Xanadu.
Wait, she gave you that hint?
No, well, it was like you have to rethink your approach.
Okay, what are our options? Algae is defeat. Love is win. Kiki is move. Love is push. Baba is you.
Wait, sorry. Love is win.
Algae is defeat. Love is win. Kiki is move. Love is push. Baba is you.
Fuck. Right.
Control Alt Delete is restart, followed by fucking uninstall. What are these? Kiki is this stupid purple thing? What does that even mean? Kiki is move. Oh, it moves when I move, but it doesn't move the same way.
Kiki is what is Kiki? Or is it the little like?
Yeah, but look, it's the purple fucking blobs. But when I move, it doesn't move the same way.
Those aren't purple.
Yeah, that's what I said. Mm-hmm. When I move up, it doesn't move up. It just moves randomly. It moves. It's not randomly.
So we need to stop. We need to turn that because that's probably gonna kill us.
It moves in the direction that I move it in.
If we hit one of those things, it's probably gonna kill us, right?
What's win right now? Love is win. Why don't we just walk one of these Kikis into the fucking kelp field and see what happens? Does it break the kelp? And what happens when they hit the wall? They switch direction entirely. Okay. So these two are moving right. Well, can we move one over? So first thing we want to do is stop Kiki's move. So they stop moving around. Can I push him? Can't push him right now. Can I Kiki his push?
What happens when you do love his move? Can you move the...
We probably could. We could probably walk the thing out. I just wanted to see what happened. My first thought was what happens if I... This might be multiple solutions. What happens if I push into algae? Nothing. Algae is death, but we need a sync, but there's no sync. You're right. Maybe it's just moving the love thing. So... Love is move.
Where do you move?
And then love is win.
You move it over to the...
Easiest fucking game ever. Good call.
Whee! That was way better than the last one. Wow.
Would you say it's better? I would say they were equally unsatisfying. One just took longer.
It was less excruciating?
So much more power than it needs. All right, we're gonna do like fucking, I don't know, one or two more of these, and we're gonna do an AMA, and then we're gonna call it. This did not do what I wanted to, by the way. This didn't do what I wanted to at all. This did nothing because it did no interaction. It's just us playing this stupid fucking puzzler. It's just a grub. Child. Summer child. All right, where are we going with this?
I don't know. Hang on. Pillar is push. Flag is win. Wall is stop. Baba is you.
Wall is stop. Flag is win.
Star is death.
Pillar is push is able to be moved. There's no sink, but we can stack pillars. Can we just push a pillar? Can we just push the flag out of the way? Is flag interactable? I've forgotten.
Oh, that's what.
Oops. Is kelp death or is kelp just annoying?
Is kelp like a wall?
I don't know what the fuck kelp is.
What happens when you run into it?
I haven't decided yet.
Do you want to
So if we push that, 3 go in. So it's 1, 2, 3. So we need one more.
Why? Why do we need 5?
Because we need to push it out of the other end without dying.
Oh, interesting.
Doesn't move the flag though. Flag has bullshit. Doesn't be moved. Star is defeat. Pillar is push. The only one we can interact with is... Oh, but we can just push this in and say pillar is you.
Yeah.
We also die if we do that though.
Why?
Because it's on a star. Star is defeat. So I'm pretty sure if we push this in, I don't know what happens if we win and lose at the same time. We win. Okay. Now, why would that be true?
You got
why
it.
would we win if we die at the same time? Just a random arbitrary bullshit rule you get to figure out. No, we didn't figure that out, Ricky. Thank you very fucking much. We actually just lost there by what the rules said on that screen, but we randomly, arbitrarily decided to win from that.
Yeah, I drank.
Only one
Xanadu,
pillar
I
died,
drank.
4 more. Why would we drink? We won that one.
I win when we lose and when we win.
Let's just drink I'm drinking all the time. Okay, Baba is you, flag is win, flag is here, wall is stop. Not a lot to fucking work with here. So.
Uh-oh. Wait, why does this look so different?
Flag is you. What if we become
What happens?
flag?
What happens when we become? Yeah.
Well, we don't win because flags no longer win. Baba is win.
Interesting idea.
This is like the simplest thing in the fucking world, except we can't interact with anything. All right, so the only thing we can.
Because you can't. Yeah. Well, no, you can go right. So just then, Baba is win.
Stupid as fuck. Alright. Good call.
You're cute.
This game is ridiculously stupid. I give this a 0. Father is you, wall is stop, door is shut. Who fucking cares? Alright.
Was there a timer on this one?
Yeah. Till my sanity disappeared.
When
it's gone.
When did we start playing this?
I don't know. We've been playing it for as far as I can tell most of my adult life. Flag is win. Do we have 2 keys? No. Key is open. Can we just make rock open? Key is push as well. Where's rock? Can we redefine rock anywhere?
Key is open.
Key is push. Can you push a door? So if we break key is open. Oh, we're stuck in here. So we open it. Presumably we can't walk through doors.
Right, so you have to move the key through then.
Walls are hard too.
Yeah.
Alright, it kills them both. But can we make key is open and just make key is push? What happens then? Doesn't do anything.
No, wait, no, restart, turn it on, and then turn that back, and then then go open the key.
But then we're missing a key to get to flag is win.
We are?
What? Yeah, there's only 2 keys. There's 3 doors. What's your
Where's
plan?
rock? But then you're inside, and then you
Oh,
have
and we
rock.
can get rock out.
Right.
And then we can
exactly.
say rock is
Rock
open.
is open.
And then we can be
Yes.
really fucking disappointed that we played this
Yes.
game. Got it.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't like it. So then just move, go around, and then move to rock is open. Right. And then oh, right. Shit.
We
We have to push the rock first.
No, we just have to move. We have to move key out of the way, right?
No, rock is push. No, key is fuck.
No, it's both. It's right here. It's rock is push and key.
Do we have an and?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet. Look at you.
And what was it? We have to do that. And
Yeah,
then we have
and
to do
then,
this.
yeah.
Hooray, we did it. Absolutely amazing.
Baby.
What? This is the worst game ever.
All right.
It's a fucking
Okay.
puzzler.
How about this? This is our last one then. This is our last one. I don't want you to be like this.
Our last
I
time
don't
together.
want you to be like this.
I can see that.
I don't want you to be annoyed. This is
Alright.
not
I'm
how
alright.
this is not how I want you to end the
I'm alright. I'm
evening.
alright.
Okay.
Flag is win. Baba is you.
Okay.
Is this just the same one we've already done? Is this just
Okay.
Baba,
so Baba
is
is
win?
you.
Where are we? Are we inside?
Flag is
we're
win.
inside the thing.
We're inside the thing. Wall is something.
Wall is stop.
Wall is jelly.
is
Wall
stop.
has to be jelly.
Wall
That
is
you can
stop.
go through the jelly.
Wait, what?
Wall,
Wall
let's
is stop
turn
and
wall
jelly is
into
stop.
jelly. Wall is jelly.
Why would we turn wall is?
Because then we can move the jelly into the wall.
Why don't we just break wall? Leave wall.
Oh, nope. Can't leave wall now. See, you have to become jelly
Why
to
can't I?
leave the wall.
What did I miss for? Oh, because wall is death. Because there's a wall is death in the corner. I didn't see the wall is death. That's on me. Sorry. Okay.
I'm doing more.
You already figured
What?
it out apparently. Go ahead. Show me.
No, I
Show me.
did not.
Show me.
No.
No,
do you
what did you
do?
say? No, no.
I said wall is no. I said
Oh, I
yeah.
see. So wall is jelly.
And then you use jelly to walk through the wall. That's what I was thinking, but that could be wrong.
Wall is jelly. Wall is death. But wall is also jelly. What? Can they be moved?
I don't know.
So you wanted wall is jelly.
Yeah, I was wondering what that would do. And then can you push can you?
Does this mean they're also wall? Because
don't
if wall
know.
is
I
jelly,
don't know.
isn't wall also
I
death? So
have
don't
no
I
idea,
die
just-
if I touch it? No. Why not? Because wall is jelly and wall is death. Wall doesn't. No part of this is wall undefined as wall.
I have no idea.
How is wall not defined as wall
I
and
don't-
wall is defined as death? How does this solve anything? Wall is jelly. There's an equals there, chat. The equal signs goes both ways. That's what equal signs means. Wall is jelly. The exact opposite of that is not, if you flip that around and say jelly is wall, that's identical. That means the same thing. 2 equals half of 4 means both sides of that equation are equal. Wall is jelly. How do you convert is mathematically? You put an equal signs. That's what it fucking means. This is arbitrary bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
You are hilarious. You get so.
Ah, feels so bad. Feels so bad. This feels so bad. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Oh, I just lost. Hold on. Great game. What an amazing experience. We're finishing whatever this fucking horrible zone is.
Wait,
and then we're
there's
cutting
more?
ourselves.
There's
Yep.
more?
Rock is rock, which apparently does not go both ways. So fucking figure that one out.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm serious.
So because chat, if you translate the last one, what we just learned is wall is jelly, but jelly is not wall. And we're supposed to learn that from the equation wall is jelly. That doesn't make sense. All right. So rock is rock. Wall is stop. There's no rocks on this. What is the point of rock is rock? There's literally no rocks on this. It's just walls. Wall is stop. Flag is rock. Rock is rock. Well, we've got a lot of things that are being rock. Flag is win. Why can't I just touch the fucking flag then? Flag is win. Oh, when I go near it, it changes.
You have to make the...
Oh, it changed it when I touched it.
Is-
What is it, my first move that changes it? Because it started as a stupid fucking flag. Okay, first
the
move
rock,
changes
the
it.
rock is the flag.
So do we need to, what, convert this the other way
So-
around?
Yes.
For some random fucking reason where this means something and they don't mean the same thing? But they teach us the lesson after we already saved. Excuse me?
Interesting.
Excuse me?
What does that mean?
This one's not allowed to be right because I put it in that order?
This... What happened?
Thank
what
you,
does that
Sashi,
mean
for
now?
1,000 bits.
What does that mean now?
It means I'm angry.
When you interact with the flag.
Okay, what? What?
Why are you so mad?
Because this game sucks ass.
Did we
Debated
finish that?
into
We
it.
finished the area though.
Hey, we're done. Never again. All right.
Okay, good job.
Oh, we're not done. There's only 9 of 28,010.
Look, it's crab. There's a crab, and kelp, and some jellyfish, and some starfish.
Wait, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, but skipped 7. What are the numbers? Does it matter?
Robots hate Boolean logic.
How is that Boolean?
That's funny.
Was it? Where are we? Flag is push, flag is flag, flag is stop, jelly is win, stop is not flag is not flag, push is not flag. Baba
So
is you,
jelly-
but you are
jelly
not
is
Baba.
win. Wait,
Jelly
so-
is win is not jelly.
Jelly is win. So if you can get to the jellyfish, then you win. And currently, flag is push.
There's
So-
also 3 undefined things. Wall is stop. We don't know what grass is, and we don't know what stone is.
So can you push the?
Flag is flag, flag is
so
push. So we
avoid
can
the
do here,
jellyfish. Right. So then.
but then we're stuck. If we do that, we're stuck.
I see. All right.
What does jelly do for us as a thing? So we need to move through the flag is not something we can, if we move flag is push, we can just move through it, right? No, flag is solid in this one. Oh, flag is stop. It is defined for us earlier or later rather. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to push jelly there. Flag
And
is
jelly,
push.
And jelly is push would do what for us? Anything?
This was solid. Was solid. Sorry. Say it again. Jelly is push.
Jelly is push would do anything for us?
Well,
Because
we have
can-
to. The first solution is we have to get through fucking flag. Flag's blocking us because we can't push it again once it's moved over, and it's currently flag is solid in some way. Flag is stop. I don't know what jelly means. What if we redefine flag as jelly? What does it do? Nothing, right? That one's not allowed. Why not? No, no reason. Okay. Oops. That one's not allowed. There's always a reason. Great.
Wait, what do you mean that's not allowed?
It's not allowed. It's banned. Prohibited.
But isn't that how the
No.
condition that we got the last one?
No. Jelly
Is push, this is what I said, and then
does nothing for us because we still can't move through this if we do that.
okay.
Let's do jelly as flag because it's the only other combination we haven't tried. Jelly as flag. We need to say flag is jelly and then just win. That's what we need to do. Was that one the one that's not allowed? Flag is jelly? That's the one that's not allowed.
No, that's
because flag is flag.
Jelly is flag.
No, but
That's it.
flag is jelly lets us win. Because jellies win. But flag's flag.
I think I've had too much to drink.
I think I've had too much of this game. Let's see.
I thought we were gonna stop after the last one.
I think we are. It's alright. If you say it twice, it's entirely different than
flag
just
is
having
flag.
the
So-
definitional, defining fucking
So
statement.
flag is flag. We can't change.
No.
The flag.
No. And you can't change flag as stop because we can't reference it. So all we can do, but I don't understand. Why is, if flag is push, why is flag also stop? Why doesn't it stop me? Because, so chat, explain this to me. I really don't get this. Why does flag is push supersede flag is stop?
Is and jelly behind you.
Yeah, flag is
So
stop.
flag is you. Flag is you. What about that?
How do you do that? You
I
can't
don't-
move Baba.
Baba. So Baba is you is flag.
Stop just means you can't pass through it. No. Here, wall is stop. Ready? If I push wall, it doesn't fucking go anywhere.
Flag is Baba.
If I push
What about
flag, it goes somewhere.
What about flag is Baba? So move flag. Flag is Baba, right? So move this to then. Yep. Yep. And then flag is Baba. And
No,
then
you're not allowed
no,
to do it.
why?
Do you know why you're not allowed to do it? Because arbitrary fucking rule they just decided that would make this too easy.
Ugh.
No, it's because we can say jelly is Baba. You can do that one. That one works by whatever fucking random fucking bullshit we're dealing with here.
But then, so then we can move the right. Then we move the jelly, and then jelly is win.
Oh, then we go.
Yeah, because now we're here too.
Yeah, but then we go push some shit, right? We have to now do.
So flag is win. So now we push flag is win. Do you get what I'm saying? Can we move that? Or win is flag, and then get to the flag. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Amazing. I don't understand that at all in any way, shape, or form. How many of these are there in here? Are there seriously 1,000? All right, let's just go with the biggest number. See if we can finish.
How many more you're like not enjoying these, but then you keep
There's often things you
subjecting yourself to them.
There's often things you have to not enjoy in life.
I don't understand why you keep doing it if you hate them.
What do you think that top left word is? Hedge. Hedge is stop. Baba is you.
The hedges. Don't run into the hedges. Okay. So we have a win and we have a defeat and we have flag
Door is
push,
shut and stop.
and we have a crab. Door is shut and stop. Baba is you. All right.
What's win? What is there a win here?
Win is up in the corner, so, which means that I think
Is
we'd
win.
we'd have to turn the hedges off. Although I don't know how we're gonna turn the hedges off.
Well, no, we just push something in front of it, like Baba is win. Can't we just do that? Can't we just do straight up Baba is win?
No, but
Oh,
how are you gonna get to the
Well,
win?
Baba is you. Baba is open. What does open mean? Baba's not open. Oh, Baba's defeat. It's blocked along the way. I didn't read the other
I
one.
think that deserves a drink for sure.
Too bad. What does open mean, chat? What happens if Baba is open? Is he consumed? Yeah, he's consumed. Okay. Okay. Fuck, moved it up too far. Is there an and? Nope. So we have to open this, probably using the flag. I don't know how to get the flag on top of that. Flag is pushed, but it has a... Door has like a blocking quality, I guess.
This one's tripping me up.
Can move all letters. Get a way around needing an and before, remember. Yeah, I used is twice. It's two definitions. So flag is push. Flag is open. Just broke it that one.
But then what does that do though?
Let's just make crab as win.
Oh. Because then we can push crab out.
I think it,
but
I
win
think
is
then
but
you,
win is still in the corner.
but no,
that
no,
we
you
can't
do
access.
Baba is watch. So you do Baba is crab. So it goes like that, and then like that, and then you push this up. Baba is Baba. Then you go push in Baba is death, but Baba is crab. And then we lose, apparently. Apparently it's not that. Okay, so we can build Baba as crab after. If we can push crab, can we push crab? So if we can push crab, which we currently can't. If we can put crab as push. And then I build crab as Baba after. We can push in crab as... It's not like I move in and we complete, right?
Then Baba is crab, and then
No, then you push in Baba is... Yeah, Baba is crab. I can't get it back in from this. So we gotta move it all slightly over, I guess.
oh, you started from Jesus.
Well, I think we blocked ourselves in over here. So flag is open. I can't move flag though, right? No, maybe I didn't push myself in. So that's this.
So then move the crab around.
That gets this crab. That gets this crab out. I thought we'd win with that if we put Baba. So I can't move crab until crab is push. So Baba is push.
That Baba can push. Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Baba is push.
Well, can you create Baba is push down below before you start moving things around? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, create it over there.
What do you mean?
Like, so Baba is push over here.
I can't move flag.
Can you move Baba? No, but move Baba over. Yeah, yeah. And then move pushes. Or Baba around.
Oh, I see. We move crab is over here. Yeah. Go. So crab is push. Does this get us where we need to be?
No, I was thinking Baba is push. Well, but crab is push. I guess if Baba can push crab.
But we push this up all the way, right? We go crab is win. Wait, crab is a word. Let's actually push this up. We don't need to push crab at all. I don't know why I don't know why I got
Baba,
excited about that.
Wait.
I don't need to move crab. Crab is fine. Crab is fine where it is. It's just a word. Or it's just a symbol. So crab is win.
And then go down to no. Oh.
I'm trapped by that.
So Baba is push and then wait.
That one is alcohol.
Okay, wait. Put
I'm ready.
crab
Hit me.
in. If you put crab here, and then. Oh, sorry.
Remember, the second you push Bob, yeah.
Oh,
Second you push it in there, you
Sorry.
lose the ability to move.
Wait, flip that. Baba is push and then crab at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems right.
Yeah. And then keep going. Oh crap.
No, it's not there. One more. Oops.
Mm.
Well, we can just say Baba
Wait.
is Baba.
Baba. Right. Yeah.
And then we push in and say Baba is
crab.
death.
Yeah.
That seems good. Why
And
don't
then-
we use is?
Okay,
So
so
crab
it's gonna
needs
go.
to be top. Right? Because crab's got
Crab
to be
is
crab
gonna-
is win.
Right.
So there's
crab needs to
plenty
be
of
win.
letters here. We just got to get them over there.
All right. So crab is win.
So crab's got to be top.
Yeah.
We push Baba is crab and we get fucked though. What
So
happens? I mean, we can
wait.
become Baba is crab.
Wait. Can crab be win and death at the same time? So what happens if then crab is at the top?
Say that again.
So can crab be win and death at the same time?
We already had a win and death solution, and it was considered a win.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, because
So what happens? And we've just done it twice, but alcohol. What happens when I Baba is crab? I can't move because crabs can't move apparently. No understanding why. No fucking logic behind that. Door shouldn't stop. Head should stop. Baba is you.
oh, because it has to go through Baba is.
I think it's because it goes through Baba is you. So that move has to be the final. But we can make Baba is crab still. Does it? So hold on. So let's just look at the sequencing here. What happens
so
with
there has
this?
to be there's some sequence, the combination of the symbol and the word crab, right? So Baba is okay, so when you push it okay, so we're the symbol, right? Like we interact, so that means the crab will then become the symbol that we would move around, right? Because this is Baba, that's us. So
no, I don't think so. 'Cause
so
I think
Baba is
you.
so Baba
I think
is
if-
Baba, right? So Baba is Baba. That should go through. We should continue to be Baba. Although that's a problem though. That
Yeah,
Baba is death. Would then be if when we push that through.
You solved this one. I think this one is my last one. You're in. I'm pretty sure Baba is you circumvents anything to do outside of that. You get an RVS host when I wasn't looking.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like,
No, I don't.
right? So if like this becomes like the order.
Oh, there's another Baba is available.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So if we push that through, that should be Baba is Baba. It shouldn't change anything.
Well, it should. It would kill you as soon as you say Baba is death.
Right, that's the problem.
Sounds like a pretty big problem.
I don't know. Baba is
This looks fun.
push.
That is not how I would describe it. No. Okay. Crab is push. Does that mean we can push crab?
Okay, so Baba is. So if we push it through and Baba is the crab.
No, we can't win. How do you
No.
feel about that?
No. Okay, so the thing that moves is the little animal icon. So then that it seems like what we should be putting through is the letters of the thing. So wait. So Baba is push is first. That's what it no.
Let's become the crab. Be done.
Baba's push. Push is death. Ugh.
I mean, what does this do? Nothing, right? I mean, it's where would you put it? Thanks, Reindeer, for the gifted sub. I don't think push crab on... No, I don't feel like so. I don't feel like doing that. So if we put the crab...
Oh, Arbius is here.
Yeah,
Aw,
Arby's here.
hi, Arby's.
He was saying this game looked good, but he was wrong. Crab is win.
You're so salty right now.
No. Crab is death, crab is
You
win, Baba is
are.
crab. So the problem is Baba is crab, we don't get past. Even though I don't know why that's true, because Baba is you. What if we Baba'd is Baba'd? Does that prevent that?
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
So we go,
then
Baba's
becomes
a
it
crab,
also
but we
is a
don't give a fuck, because we're Baba. And we say crab is death, and we don't care. And then we go
And then
crab is win, and then we're like, fuck you,
Yay,
game.
baby!
Done.
Yay! Good job.
All right. Thank God.
Good job. Good job.
Amazing.
All right, we're done.
I think
Done with it. I think we're
I
done with
think
that
this
game because
was-
I don't know if I can handle any more of this.
my joy,
Yeah.
my love of life,
I don't. I can't
my
handle
pure
any more.
optimism. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
All right.
Nice.
We did it, Chad.
You did it. You did it.
No, we did it.
You did it. You did that
We
one.
successfully navigated the trap that is playing this
I
game.
feel like that was him sharing.
I feel like that was what death looks like.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
I want to do AMA stuff. I want to talk. Let's talk. Baba is filthy robot. That's a false. And apparently it doesn't go both ways.
I didn't. I enjoyed some parts of it.
Let's kill this
Yeah.
music. Let's listen to better music.
I'm not listening to any music because I didn't put my headphones on.
Exit the game. Oh, thank God. Do you want to be giant? Let's be giant. Huge. Huge. And begin.
Oh God.
And begin. Hold on. All right, how's that? Is that embiggened? Do you want to be not glittery though? We could fix
How
that.
am I glittery?
You see the webcam flashing on the back of the chair?
But that's because you're.
No,
It's like a mesh screen.
no, it's not.
It is.
It's not. It didn't help at all, did it?
What that?
Yeah.
That's
I'll
a
just
mesh
sit up
screen.
straight. Look
That's
at
a
that.
mess.
No.
That's the reason
No.
why is because you can see the green
No, it's
through the
not.
whatever.
Okay, good talk.
'Kay.
All right. Where are we at?
Wow.
Buy a new webcam. Yeah, I am going to buy a new webcam. It's kind of expensive. We're getting to it.
Will that help with that in that it won't do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Maybe. All right, chat. Let's do chat. Let's do questions. We got a little bit of time for questions, and then we can be done. How have you successfully navigated dating a streamer for as long as you have? Who says you were successful?
I don't think it's like any other like job that someone would have in that you are supportive to them and that there are things that they deal with on a day-to-day basis that you talk to them about, and there's ups, there's downs. Like it's just the same as, at least my perspective is it's the same as any other job.
What, disappointing?
No, that there are ups and downs of the day, and that you, when you're a supportive partner, that you help them navigate that and you talk to them about that.
You think Baba is you as a down?
Baba is Baba. Baba is Baba is Baba.
I hope
No,
you're
I
not
wanna-
teaching
I
to
wanna-
tomorrow's youth.
No, I want you to answer that question that I had
Oh,
earlier.
Okay. Let's switch to serious questions because serious. I mean, it doesn't have to be serious, but I'll try to switch to seriously answer questions. I do like AMAs every once in a while. Let's finish the stream up with an AMA. It's been a 9-hour stream. It's been a good stream.
Should I just answer
Sure, you can ask. You can be part of the AMA if
to
you have questions to
God,
ask. To God, what?
Revan Ryu?
Call him Ravon.
Ravan?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that I don't it's not that I don't want to present myself on stream. It's just that like it's been this kind of tradition the last 4 years, and that I kind of come on a New Year's stream, and we couldn't do this just a month ago because we were traveling, and so we just decided to delay it a month.
Delay it till when we had time.
Yeah. So.
And she's been on the stream before, Ravon. You just haven't
Right,
seen
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Like the New Year's stream for like the last 4 years, I think.
Duck
So-
says, I sometimes wonder about your criteria for games. Blood Bowl 2 has been recommended for several years as a turn-based multiplayer with team building. It's been a matter of not getting to it, Duck. There's always been something else or something more interesting to me from a kind of just perspective. It's the same with actually Warhammer, right? At no point have we thought differently about Warhammer Total War, which we checked out again today. It's always been, it needed to be added to a list of things to do sometime, and then actually acted on when we needed things to do. And it's the same with Blood Bowl 2. When's the next trip to Denver for beer tasting? We were in Denver a year and a half ago. When was that? We weren't
last
there
summer.
for beer though.
Last summer. So
Music probably.
we went to. Did you tell them
No.
what happened? No. Is
No.
that bad?
Yeah,
Should we not tell them?
correct. Overall
Okay.
aftermath of today's
Secret
stream.
story, I guess.
I don't know what the overall aftermath would be, Nerf. We did what we wanted to do. There was 2 goals of today's stream. The first was a little bit of showing you guys the process for picking games, doing that publicly, and then also involving Frigg.
Oh, do you enjoy the working from home aspect of streaming? Do you ever missing
I'm
having?
going in order.
Oh, sorry. Oh my
So-
God. Okay.
Ignore whatever Ravon says there. What type of games does Frigg play, if any? She doesn't. Do you enjoy working from
That was
home
fast.
aspect of streaming? Yeah. Do you ever miss having a working environment separate from home? Yeah. The downside of working from home is the people portion of it, right? There's no you don't meet colleagues at work who you end up having a connection with and end up doing things outside of work with. You don't end up with it's Friday night and a couple of you guys are going to the bar or something like this. It's a solitary environment. How am I doing? Doing well? Tell us what. No, you can't do that. What's your next trip to?
Can I add to that about the separation between
Sure.
like the work-life balance part, and like that this is your computer, and that you are like this room that you're in is both like a room that you kind of have downtime in, but it's also a room that you work in. And so in terms of trying to keep that work-life balance aspect
Yeah.
of getting out of the room for a little part of the day, in terms of that it's a mental separation from work.
Yeah.
I think that that's an important part.
Yeah, that's true. There's no travel to and from work. You don't ever leave work. And some jobs are like that anyways, right? Work follows you home. But this one is kind of more like, it's tough to say when I'm working and not working. If I'm checking out a game, is that work or not work? If I'm playing Crowfall in the evenings, is that work or not work? Am I making guide videos about it? There's some element of that.
Right, like I drive to work 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes is a time for me to kind of like get into the work mindset, and then I'm at my office, and I then leave my work and I drive home, and it's like a total separation. It's not as easy for you because you don't have that same separation. And I think anybody that works from home, that's harder for them to kind of have that work-life balance, because that separation is harder to
Sure.
achieve. So
Joe asks, Joe is Wizard138. When is your next trip to Oshkosh for a beer tasting?
Aww.
I don't know, Joe. We'll have to set that up, man. If you know of one, let me know. How many favorite
Hi,
breweries
Joe.
do I have?
Also, hi, Joe.
My favorite brewery closed. Secret Mime. No, there isn't any. I read it as Mimes. Seems
That's
a
okay.
little blurry.
I know you can read.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. Was Frigg's question from earlier? I remember being interested, but you forgot the question.
I wanted to ask about your kind of perspective in terms of, it's been 6 years that you've been streaming. How has things changed for you in terms of sort of your mindset from 6 years ago from now? Like when you kind of started to, how has that shifted for you?
Too broad.
Too broad?
Narrow it down. I'll try
Okay,
to
so
answer.
this is kind of mildly uncomfortable for me, because it's like an invisible audience. Like I have no idea who's watching and why they're watching or what they're getting out of it, or I have no idea.
All
So
sorts
it's like
of things. is the
when
answer.
I'm teaching and I can see 50 students in front of me and I can see their facial expressions and see them interacting, I'm like, I that's like a massive feedback cycle for me, where it's like I don't know I don't know. I can't see anyone.
Well, you get feedback cycle
so
as a
how is
streamer.
it?
You get things like subs and donations and support and, chat going wild over something or interested in that. And you get social media feedback. You get feedback on Discord. There's a lot of feedback in it. How does it change from 6 years ago? There's ups and downs.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
There's ups and downs in that. Like, I like the community we built, and I know it feels like a bit of a cop out to say that, but I like the fact that there's people who stick around and show up for the various content and are interested in things we're doing. I like that there's a group of like-minded people who are interested in deep strategy gaming. That's fun to me. I like sharing that experience with them. It's ruined gaming for me to some degree. I enjoy gaming less without an audience in a way, because I like doing it publicly. I like learning the games publicly. I like playing them publicly. It lets me go fully in depth in a game without feeling guilty about it. Like if it's a really long, complicated game like Rogue Tech right now or something like that, it lets me feel a little bit better about like diving into the details of it because I'm doing it for an audience to some degree. So it also has the flip side. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like to continue with that. The flip side of that is it feels there's negative reinforcement with viewer numbers in the same way there's positive reinforcement with viewer interaction. So like I don't like games that aren't doing as well on the channel. It feels like they're like, oh, it's like my viewer base saying to me like they don't want to see this, and it isn't that, because there's a lot of people in that viewer base who want to see that, but it's nevertheless that to some degree. I don't know. It has its ups and its downs. How would I compare it to 6 years ago? Less naive about it, a bit more knowledge about what's going on, a lot more knowledgeable about the industry, a lot more wedded, although not permanently necessarily, but a lot more invested invested's a better word than wedded, a lot more invested in the idea of doing this full time permanently if I can. Whether or not that's possible, I still don't know. It'd be nice one day to feel less precariously balanced. That's one of the things I don't like about it, perhaps.
But from the first part, the answer to that question about things moving from sort of an internal justification for doing them to more of an external justification.
What do you mean?
Like I'm playing this game and I'm figuring it out and I'm enjoying it.
It's changed how I interact with it. Not in internal, external. It was prior to doing it for a job. That was rest and relaxation that was taken when I could take it, as opposed to having endless time to throw at it, really. So like when graduate school, like it's like, okay, I've got 1 billion obligations in graduate school and I've got, I don't know how many hours a week I can steal for gaming. Here it's the opposite. I have as many hours that I want to stream available for gaming. But at the same time, when I'm not streaming, I don't want to be gaming because then I feel guilty about it. I don't feel like it's an internal, external motivation. I haven't lost my love of my enjoyment of doing it. It's more like, good. Yeah, it's more like I've found something else that I enjoy, another internal motivation of enjoying it. I enjoy doing this with people. It's fun to do it with people. It's like playing Magic in person or something, or like being part of a team of some sort, right? Like, or it's actually something that's similar to what I get from when I'm in the Crowfell Guild, like hanging out on the team comms, doing like a PvP organization with that. It's a shared experience of a game, which makes it really, really nice. Does that answer? Okay. Yeah. Story time. Frigg, would you advise Filthy to play The Sims 3? She has no idea what that is, bro. Vam, we need you to temporarily leave the room. I can do that, but the stream probably ends then. Wait, what's the downside?
I'm so uncomfortable. No, I can't do it by myself.
Xanabu says, wait, that's the downside. That's like 9% of why I work for myself. What was that, Xanabu? Oh, not having to travel to see people. It's probably a couple minutes ago. Yeah. Arvius says, can attest to the solitary for sure, man. Let's see. Let's catch up if we can. Dealing with chat is work. Dealing with chat is a mixed bag. For the large part, it's actually extremely, extremely rewarding. Mostly chat is people who are coming to support what you're doing, or at the very least coming because they're interested in what you're doing. Mostly that's a really positive experience. I don't get a lot of trolls in my channel, and when I do, they're not very impactful because it tends not to be something that's particularly bothersome to me, and they tend to get shut down pretty early. What actually is bothersome and negative about dealing with chat is the repetition for me. And I don't know, I've never found or heard a good solution for that. FAQs are one thing, stream titles are one thing, chat commands are one thing, moderators are one thing, but you still deal with the fact that if you're streaming to, today, for example, 300 people, and you're still streaming to 300 people who tune in individually at their own time, having picked up their own amount of information at whatever level that is, or however many times they've engaged from however many sources they have, you're always playing the game of incomplete information and answering those questions. and it's an impossible workaround because it's a very reasonable question to ask as a viewer, hey, what's going on? But it's also extremely reasonable from the streamer's perspective to be like, hey, I've already answered that 25 times today, while simultaneously putting up FAQs, titles, etc. So I agree dealing with chat is work, but it's like got really highs and really lows, and it doesn't seem to have much of a medium for me. The balance is 99% work, 1% stream watching, right? Sorry, I don't understand that question. What is F2K? It's the team I joined. Joe says hi. Have you ever thought about taking a trip to the Caribbean? I haven't. What's my next trip to Amsterdam for beer tasting? I will be in Amsterdam.
I've been to Puerto Rico. It was amazing. It was awesome. But just FYI.
Okay. Going to Amsterdam in May for TwitchCon Europe. That's May 2nd and 3rd. I'll be there for about a week. We are doing a channel meetup. More details on that when it happens. Can I pronounce?
I wish I could come to that, but I can't because it's the end of the semester.
Because you don't want to go. I understand.
It's terrible timing.
This gentleman here would like you to pronounce his name with the W there.
Wyoin?
Maybe like Wyocean.
I don't know. That's probably terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Niebla says, that question also curious. Shit, 6 years, right, Billy? Best not to think about that. What do we get out of this? What game does Filthy talk about in his sleep? Do I talk in my sleep?
No, you didn't, but you were like randomly laughing in your sleep the other night, which was like tripping me out.
Who was I laughing at?
I have no idea. You were just laughing in your sleep, and I was like, why is he laughing? I don't understand.
Okay. When she explains it like that, streaming is really creepy.
Oh.
What were you explaining it like?
I don't know.
I don't really find streaming creepy. Elias, Filthy never listens to chat. No problem. Filthy needs to come to Denver for the Great American Beer Festival. We've been in Denver recently. I said that already last year. How do you feel now versus you did during the state of the channel about your direction for this year? I feel like a lot of the goals of that have been implemented. One heart, one mind. I feel good about that. I feel like the issues, some of the issues the channel was facing was issues of game selection and game content, and building a system to make that more consistent and more transparent, I think is overall really good. I like getting help with spreadsheets. I like spreadsheets.
You love spreadsheets. You have like a hard on for spreadsheets. Let's just be honest.
Not.
You do too. You absolutely do. You do.
I like them the appropriate amount that a man can like a spreadsheet.
So much. Right. The spreadsheets.
Hugh Frigg, does Filthy get frustrated with household appliances like he does with Twitch chat, and how do you calm him down?
Does that mean that you'd have to use household appliances?
I don't know. I don't understand the question. Came for the Civ 5, but stayed
Filthy
with the
doesn't really use household appliances. So.
Bullshit. I use the faucet.
That's not an appliance. Do you know what an appliance is?
The faucet.
That's not an appliance.
All right. Well, we agree to disagree.
Not an appliance.
Have there been any changes in the past 6 years? Are you more comfortable diving into depot as opposed to now or being salty? Yeah, there's been a lot of changes in Diablos. It's been a constantly evolving process. Am I more comfortable diving into details? Yep, I was definitely extremely... I still have that urge inside to kind of just be like, no, that's private. But I'm more comfortable about talking about a lot of things on Twitch than I was when I started. In part because I plan to do this longer, and it's just like details accumulate, and after a while you're kind of like, I've already talked about that kind of thing. But in part also just I'm a little bit more comfortable with it as a profession, as well as something a little bit more comfortable with being more public about some things. About being salty, I think salty has its place, and I think a little bit of salt is good. I have tried very hard to get away from getting extremely angry on stream. I think that was fun and engaging to watch for some people, but I think ultimately not where I want to put my stream online presence. Streaming is like adjuncting. I don't really see the I'm willing to listen to where that link might be, but I'm not seeing it. They're a cute, logical couple. Absolutely. Let's see. Does he know the cam is still on? Yes, I'm streaming. Another thing I've noticed is that you or your audience don't seem to have a big interest in RPGs, Firstly, encountering some tale of something I don't know, as well as living Divinity 2. Turn-based RPGs have not done well on my channel, Duck. Some of our thought process with that is it's not really allowing me to min-max and not really what people tune in for. One of our potential solutions for that is if I have another very high-interest RPG that I'm very interested in playing, we do that as like the final quarter of a stream. So like a 7-hour stream or 6-hour stream, maybe we do 2 hours at the end of that stream for RPGs or something like that, and see how that does. I'd like to build that out. I want to be able to play any good stream on channel, any good game on stream for the channel when it comes out. Or not necessarily when it comes out. I just want to be able to play good content on this channel, period, regardless of what genre it is if I'm interested in it. Although puzzlers are quickly becoming something I would never play again willingly.
Or what's the Goose Game? Is that also a puzzler?
Yeah, but I found it less obnoxious. It's less pure of a puzzler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where are we next? I'm a better gamer because of what Filthy does. I like hearing things like that.
That's nice.
Are you nervous about your trip to EU coming up? It's a long flight, very far away from home. Are you more excited about seeing other people, continent, culture? I'm not. That's such a weird question, Kix. I don't have any sort of apprehension for traveling, especially to civilized countries with all the amenities of traveling, amenities of life. Like, am I worried about the Dutch as a people for visiting? No. I'm looking forward to it. The downsides of that are, yes, it's a disruption of my normal life and disruption of streaming. It's a long trip, and it's going somewhere that I would get a lot more enjoyment if my partner could come with me, because she will enjoy the historical and cultural element of that, and I will go and I will see a little bit of that, but I will do nowhere near as much of that as I would have if she were there. So
someone else help him do that.
The parts I will enjoy I will enjoy hanging out with the other streamers there. I'll enjoy the process of meeting people from my channel. I will enjoy TwitchCon. I enjoyed TwitchCon this year, and I'm looking forward to it next year, or rather this coming year, for coming out to that. I'll enjoy meeting a lot of people who are parts of my channel and have been for years. There's a lot of things I'm expecting to enjoy about that.
Yeah.
But I think I will enjoy it less than, and no, travel doesn't bother me at all. Travel bothers me because of the inconvenience of traveling, not because of the meeting new people and cultures. That's not worrisome to me. I find that stuff interesting. I may not come always for the streams, but I always have the VODs to go and catch up. Good. I estimate the percentage of people who didn't read the FAQs and such is very high. I would say about 100%. I doubt there's a good solution to the repeating problem. There sure is not. Let's see. Wish Frig could come. Sure. Better than Y-Ocean? No, dude. Y-Ocean was the best. What will you weigh in on harder tonight, Goose or Baba? Both of those things, thankfully, will not be games I'll be playing on my channel ever again. I enjoyed, personally, Goose Game more than Baba. Baba, it felt gimmicky. It just felt like there was a game I played in college. It was a drinking game, and the game was based on you drink whenever you do something wrong, and the rules aren't made clear to you ahead of time. So it's deliberately designed up front to get lots of people drinking, which is fun. That's a fun thing for a drinking game. But the premise is basically you learn the rules by making mistakes, and it was beginning to feel a bit like that with Baba. It was feeling like, okay, well, Baba is Baba, but if I reverse it, it's not true. Like, things like that were pissing me off. So you can't see us, correct? He's thinking about despining Locust. Filthy laughs in his sleep when he thinks of banning everyone who suggests Civ 5. Absolutely.
That's so true. That's probably really true.
Do you draw, Xanabu asks, do you draw cells and grids on yourself instead of lingerie?
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah.
Still waiting for Filthy Democracy. Good luck. Sorry to repeat a question, but do you think that you and your audience have an interest in... I just answered that.
But the timing, right?
Well, I didn't miss it. I'm going in order.
I know, but...
How much more of a performer do you feel you are now as opposed to a gamer percentage-wise? I think I define define the experience of streaming as entertainment. If you ask me what my job is, once I say streamer, but if you ask what a streamer does, I say it's an entertainment job. So I think I entertain via video games as a medium. And if you ask me a percentage what that means, I don't think I could do this job non-gaming. I mean, I would have to replace gaming with something else. But I also agree, this isn't just a gaming job. It's a lot of interacting with people. Who is the nice lady? Victor TV is a troll. He's never said anything in this channel that's not been a troll. He's been trolling for approximately 6 years, and he shows up every year trolling. So he asked who the nice lady is. There's no nice ladies in this room. Question is for both of you. What's the proper way to load a dishwasher aggressively? Hey, Filthy, what have you, I've been
Put as
following
much
you.
as you can in it.
I've been following.
That's the proper way to load a dishwasher. Put as much as you can in it.
I've been following
Like
you
a
on
game
and
of
off.
Tetris.
I've been following you on and off for the last couple of years, and just want to say thank you. You're doing a great job. Cheers. What is fun variance versus anti-fun variance in a game for you? Play a lot of games with it featured heavily and bitch about it a lot. Fun variance is stuff that happens when you're not planning for it. That is okay. Maybe we do it the other way. Maybe I define non-fun variance and then say fun variance is the opposite of that. Non-fun variance is game-breaking stuff that happens randomly. So imagine you are you spilling wine on
I
my?
just spilled wine on myself.
Oh, that's fine. Just don't spill wine on where I am here. 'Cause I'll have to live with it forever. So if you're playing a game and like your run ends 20 hours in or 5 hours in because your teammates are randomly loaded with a nuclear weapon and they have, through bad AI or programming, randomly decided to nuke your entire squad, and the nuke does enough damage that it kills every one of your early game mechs. That's bad variance. That adds nothing to the experience of playing it, but detracts a lot when it happens. Good variance is things like they throw a curveball your way. That's within your wheelhouse of things to deal with. It might cost you more or hit you harder or challenge you more, but it's within the realm of things that are reasonable to happen to you. That's for me fun variance versus not fun variance. Fun variance keeps things interesting without breaking the experience. I should be worried about the Dutch. I'm not. The downside's jet lag. Yep. You're worried about driving 3 hours to see the Dutch as a German? Why? Someone watched around 400 of your Civ 5 games, so they need psychological help, asking for a friend. What are your thoughts on that? That's not even like
I have no
80%.
idea. I've never watched 1 hour of your Civ play.
It's only like 80%. I'd say, good start. Will I upload my Outer Worlds playthrough? I won't now, but I will upload future ones. When did I get a wife? Well, I got this ad in a newspaper, and then I followed up, and it was expensive, and she flew over, but it's worked out.
Some people do that.
I know.
That's not.
Good at streaming, great at strategy games, bad at traveling. No, I'm okay at traveling. Thanks for the VODs on YouTube. My pleasure. Do you know about the VOD channel? How did you not know about my wife? You're a troll. How do you know about anything? I wanted to say thanks to the VOD channel. Oh, good. Doesn't have perfect numbers. That's true. For traveling to Netherlands, be aware that many places don't take Visa, MasterCard, American Express. I did not know that. That is good news. Or a good warning, rather. She said yes, no takebacks. Once a year, we actually touch base to see if either of us are wanting to leave the relationship. It seems to be a good thing to do overall. You might have well stated this prior, but among Necromunda and Cyberpunk 27, what is on your radar? Both of them. They're both on my radar. Although Cyberpunk got delayed and Necromunda supposedly has already been released, but hasn't actually been released, so I don't know when that's going to be. How do you ask the question? I want to ask Filthy a question. There's no possible way to ask me questions in this. You can also use cash most places here in the Netherlands. Okay. The nuke incident will live in infamy. Sure. Serious question, life related. Let's say I currently accepted a job offer and then get a better job offer. How do you go about getting out of the first one? Depends what your obligations are for that and what you're trying to do from that, honestly. And it depends probably on your field and what you've already said. Without more details, it's really hard to answer. If you said you're going to do something, well, what are the repercussions for not doing that? Is it contractual? Is it poison in your field? Is it just, the inconvenience of having to deal with that socially? Bit more to that. What are my favorite books? One of the links off of my website is my Goodreads. It's not perfectly up to date, but it has a large portion of the books I'm interested in and have read. I like sci-fi and fantasy, among other things.
I like that when you were sort of courting me in the beginning, you recommended Ian M. Banks to me as an author.
I used to give you books.
You used to give me books as as courting, like as a way to
Sure.
be like, hey, I like you. Do you like the same things as me? And are we compatible?
Books and shiny rocks.
You never gave me rocks.
You say that.
Thank goodness. But in terms of finding commonality and yeah, so that was cool. Ian M. Banks was like an author that you suggested to me that I really liked. So
I was really bummed when he died. He was a really good author, and it really sucks that he died so early.
yeah.
And what a scary way to die, Xanadu. Do you know how he died? It's fucking terrifying. He's just writing and writing, and he comes in, goes to the doctor, and he's like, my lower back's really been bugging me. And they diagnose him. They're like, yeah, it's terminal cancer. You're past the point we can do anything. Get your affairs in fucking order. That's terrifying. You basically only watch the VOD channel. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That was the compromise made on my channel to the fact that people want a lot of content from me, but some people don't want to be spammed on their YouTube for that. Total War Warhammer 2 this month or no? I can't promise when it will be. It's now on the list of games to be played. That means it will get played when I have content, when I'm looking for content, and that seems to be the best of that list to play. So maybe never, maybe when I'm done, but Rogue Tech for all I know. But it will be on the list of games to be played when we're ready for looking for another game. Let's see. Am I coming to Netherlands? Yep, going to TwitchCon. Any D&D planned? Yeah, I just reached out. Kevin, Jorbs, Dolphin, and myself are putting together another, I don't know if it'll be D&D, but it will be pen and paper RPG. Whether or not it's D&D or something like GURPS, I'm not sure yet. We're still vetting GMs right now. So yes, soon it will actually be streamed. We're going to stream it. I'm going to stream it anyways. Coming up for that, it'll be YouTubed as well, but I'll be streaming it. No chat interaction during the streams. I think it will ruin it entirely, but we will be streaming it probably on Wednesdays. Well, we're not quite there yet when it will be soon. Used to give her books, don't give her books now. I do, just not as much. What about my wedding ring? What about my wedding ring? That's a rock. I didn't give her a wedding ring, and we also.
It's just a gold band.
And we also didn't do we were legally married, so we went to the courthouse and got married, but we didn't do a big wedding.
No, it was very nice.
I know.
It was a really nice day because we wanted to have the day to ourselves. And can I say it on stream?
You can't say drug references on stream. Not that that's related to the story.
No, that's not.
That's about it, though. You sex. This is the fucking
Sex
U.S.
reference.
Sex and violence. Violence is fine. Sex is slightly less fine. And then drugs are not allowed.
Okay, but we basically wanted to be able to have like
time to ourselves.
And so we went to the courthouse. Can I say all this? Is this okay? We haven't checked. Checked with you.
But you asking me just makes it twice as awkward as just saying it.
No, but basically, like, we went to the courthouse, got married, then had sex, and then went out to dinner. It was a glorious day. It was like it was like a day for ourselves.
It was time to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we saw friends
but
and family
now you have to
afterwards.
clarify, because now chat's like, you waited until after marriage, and it was just like, no, we didn't wait till after marriage, but it was just the time. Her point of this was, it was a day for ourselves, and it wasn't a day. Having a day with the family about that is good, but that's not actually the focus of it, from my opinion. Focus of this is you and your partner making that about the two of you and finding that time to make that important to yourselves. So
yeah, it's not that I don't think that when people get married that they shouldn't have a big party with friends and family.
No, that's great.
Absolutely. Like,
but they got to make sure they find the time for themselves in that.
Yes, at some point.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they should. However they want to make that happen.
You wish you had someone in your life who gave you books. This is not the same, Nerf, but again, I do have a Goodreads. We can give you good book suggestions. You'll find someone in your life who will give you books at some point. It's a minor poison in my field, so essentially we're burning a bridge with potential nice local environment. I'm not bound by the contact. It's just not bound by the contact. It's just something I do. I'm your software engineering. It's hard to break contracts that you make, Victor. What you need to really be evaluating with that is, what are the costs compared to what are the benefits? If it's just a pay thing, and it's a pay thing that is short term, that may not be worth it. If it's a big deal, then that might be something different. This is evaluating cost and benefit to yourself. I don't think there's something inherently wrong in breaking a contract. Contracts have clauses in them for the cost of breaking them. If you are willing to pay the cost of breaking something, that's reasonable. These are rules. Are you willing to pay the cost of breaking these rules? Okay, be aware of that. It's a decision. It's not random, and it's not inconceivable that you would say this penalty is less costly to me than what I would give up an opportunity to not do this. I can buy that. 'Cause Let's see. Catching up. The dream team. Absolutely, Pabst. Still looking for a DM? Yeah, not where still. We kind of just started looking again. Kevin back for D&D. Yep. Streamed. Yep. Savage Worlds was one of the two that we were looking at outside of D&D. Inside of the D&D world, Pathfinder's come up a couple times. Outside of the D&D world, Kevin's big on GURPS and has also suggested Savage Worlds as another system. Sex is fine as long as you aren't naked. Sure, Xander.
On stream. Then it's on stream.
She got there. I'll get there. It's farther down. Filthy is a good Christian boy. Fuck right off. I think spending a small fortune on a wedding is pretty dumb. That was part of the rationale for me as well. I have better things to do with my money than that, and not in the sense of you. And she, this is her second marriage, right? Mm-hmm. I'm husband number 2, and you did the
number 2.
And you did the whole big.
I did a very big wedding.
The first time around.
Not
so
like
you
it wasn't like massive. I would say it was average size, but it was.
But you went through that experience.
I went through the whole
part
experience.
of that was for you. You didn't really care if we did it around 2.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've never had any interest.
No, and I remember feeling like I didn't. Spend enough time with him on that day.
Yeah.
That was something that like I feel like in retrospect was like that was something I wanted to do something different.
Yeah. So. You and I both have very, very fond memories of our wedding. And our wedding was a courthouse wedding, and we had friends and family show up the next day, but that whole day was our day. And her mother was 15 minutes away, living 15 minutes away, and we didn't invite her to that. And we saw her mother shortly after, but deliberately. That was supposed to be for us. Mm-hmm. Thank God you waited. Thank you, pimp name Slipback. The comment is made better by the commenter. You found it planned. The only planned game is Total War. It's not the only planned game. It's bear with it. The spreadsheet is working. Hope I left the courthouse before.
That's hilarious. Filthy min-maxed marriage by immediately consummating. That is hilarious. That has got to be one of the best chat comments I have ever heard.
All right.
That's hilarious.
An entire day. Filthy's endurance is legendary. See, I don't tend to talk.
Merciless Woody.
I tend not to be.
You.
I tend not to be give chat details of sex when I talk about sex. I tend to talk about it in the abstract.
Hilarious.
Xanabis says, I saw my husband drunk for the first time at our wedding. It was eye-opening because he talks when he's drunk.
Aww.
Did it turn you off a little bit, Xanabu? Because you apparently married him or liked him when he didn't talk. What the fuck is a book? This is Kush. Kush is one of the gentlemen I play. Gentlemen. I'm being kind. Kush is one of the guys I play Crowfall with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kush yells a lot about, I'm picking up coward as an insult, which I really like. It's pretty PC, and it's really hilarious to have things that are not related to courage at all suddenly called into account by like coward. Like, I'm not gonna get up early this morning. Coward! Like, Kush is big on that. He yells a lot. Oh. If you hear people yelling in this channel,
so he likes to challenge you.
He likes to yell.
Oh.
On comms.
Okay.
Ever considering playing Prey 2017? Don't know that one. If it's an interesting game that you think might go well on the channel, recommend it in the Discord, and it will go through the process. You can always go back to the first people and see if they will match. Yep, that's true. You can try to use salaries from salary offers to negotiate existing salaries. It's harder to do it when there's 2 competing offers, but it's still possible. Let's see. Okay, other people answering him. Interesting looking Warhammer systems. Yeah, we played Dark Heresy, which I didn't really like as a gaming system, Billy, although I did enjoy the world. Would either of you jump out of a perfectly functioning airplane? Yeah. We almost did that this year. It was one of the things we wanted to do. We did our Grand Canyon trip this year, or last year, I guess it was, and wanted to do skydiving, and didn't end up happening that time. But it's something I'd like to do at least once.
So yes, with a parachute strapped to our back.
Well, depends how the streaming goes. You always joke that if you get married again, there'd be no wedding, right? Us too. For today's games, Warhammer's on the plan list. Yep, okay, let's see. Set on dipping the first company. Seafood Gaming, okay, still answering Victor. the Duck, it's the issue, Duck, to repeatedly respond to the same question is the spreadsheet's a work in progress. Frostpunk is planned on our to-do, but it hasn't been updated from today's evaluation onto the plan sheet yet, because that's a manual entry that Tom does as a community manager. So it will be. The tier 2 review, anything greened on the tier 2 review is planned. It just hasn't been moved yet. Maxi marriage, absolutely. So it's funny, as I get older and friends start getting married, a lot of them have courthouse weddings for legal health insurance reasons and do a bigger family wedding, especially awkward when the family doesn't know. Yep, I think that's totally reasonable. Mm-hmm. Wife and you are in your second marriage. She calls me her current husband. I think that's reasonable.
I love that. I'm going to have to steal that.
Trying to do you dirty.
You're my cousin.
I love playing with Kush. Kush has been part of the Crowfall Guild that has been super welcoming to me and really, really fun. And if I get the ability to stream Crowfall or keep making content for it, I will. We'll see. I'm hoping the game gets better. We're very close to a very large content patch with Crowfall, so we'll see about that.
Are you gonna see Xanadu in Amsterdam?
Yeah,
it sounds like you have to get her husband a little bit inebriated to see what happens.
I'm not in the business of pushing alcohol on anyone. Don't look at me like that.
Are you kidding?
No.
Are you?
I like drinking, and I'm happy to have people drink around me.
Get out right now.
It's my stream. You can't tell me to get out. See what's happened, chat.
Oh my God, you love to push alcohol.
Xanadu offered to put me up for a little bit there, and I won't be accepting that offer since I have housing for the entirety of that. But we're definitely, she's one of the mods. She's Xanadu. You're the. I don't know why I'm asking.
You're gonna have to go down to the bottom of this chat now if you're gonna actually respond to that. I'm just saying, it's for time. Okay.
Skydove this year in the Grand Canyon. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's really right.
Would do it once, wouldn't do it again. Yeah, exactly. Wow, it's reading the. Kush says, I remember when I used to use the parachute, then I grew up. Any plans for a new Rogue Tech campaign with 1.8 beta build? Not at the moment, Bald Eagle. The problem is, as I keep explaining repeatedly about this one, is that beta is really, really temporary. They're updating a lot of some sort of major tagging file for all the mech warriors in that build, which means that it's not compatible between builds, and in between where the beta is right now and the next update, which isn't the next patch, it's just the end of this patch, all of those saves will become incompatible. There isn't time to do one, basically. Frig, does Filthy cook, and is he good at it? I always wonder what he eats when he finishes his lunch break so fast. I'm an excellent cook, and I spend a lot of time cooking.
You used to cook
all right, moving on. Would you be interested in game development myself if the opportunity was open? I think game development could be an interesting career, but I would prefer to stream. So I guess the thing for me is it's not as easy as being like, are you interested in game development? That's where you could go with this. I don't want to go somewhere with this. I want to do this. I like doing this. I enjoy doing this. I think game development would be interesting for me, but it's not particularly where I wish to go, if that makes sense. Have you noticed larger trends in strategy games over the past few years? I've been looking for strategy games over the past few years. We'll see. You'll bring your alcohol and pour alcohol in. Perfect. Good. I'd like to meet your husband. I'd like to meet you. It'd be fun. You guys thought about kids? I'm imagining many little finish. Oh, I read that as many little finishes. If you thought about kids, I'm imagining many little filthies, and it's a bit traumatic. No kids on the plan. No kids in the plans for us. Mm-hmm. The two of you, I talk a little bit about children on the last PK I was on. I'm pretty close to getting a vasectomy. Like this close. We'll see. Could that be a penis size reference?
What is the last part? Like, what's the last little bit? Why not?
Some hesitation to remove options. Some thoughts of, do I owe it to society for being a relatively healthy, happy member of society that has been good to me, kind of shit, like this type of thing. But I'm pretty close to that.
To spread your genes.
It's kind of like, what do you owe as a citizen? What are your responsibilities as a citizen? If you have done well via that society, do you owe it to that society to recontribute, and is passing and is putting the next generation of people towards that, in part, that obligation?
Yeah, but society's not raising your children, you are.
Yeah, but is that just the cost you eat as being a citizen? I don't know.
I don't know if we want to get into that.
Any thoughts really on deep. Favorite movies you saw recently in 2019? Don't do a ton of movies. Watched what was that? What was the A Year in Space? That wasn't a movie.
That was a documentary?
Quasi documentary about what's his name? Scott Kelly.
Yep.
About Scott Kelly, who was in space for a year in 2015. Him and a Russian astronaut whose last name eludes me. That was fairly interesting.
But we watched it like 2 days ago.
What was a movie I really liked recently? Do you remember?
Can you give me a hint?
No, I don't remember. I was just wondering if you remember any movies that I thought were good. What was the last couple of movies we recommended people?
I would need a second.
Yeah, that doesn't come off the top of my head, Paps. Can you give me a brief summary of your experience with Crowfall? Looking to widen your horizons. Give it a little bit, and I'll answer again. I put out a couple early guide videos about the game right now. I think there's 3 on my channel. What I'm looking for is what I left behind when I quit EVE Online, which is I'm looking for another PvP MMO sandbox game. Another PvP sandbox MMO is what I'm looking for again. I enjoy coordinated group-based combat, and I like playing against players. And Crowfall is potentially providing that. There's a really, really big content patch coming in the next couple weeks here, and after that, it'll be a lot easier for me to say one way or the other about what I think the chances of that game being good are afterwards. At the moment, it's enjoyable, but it's very, very clearly pre-alpha. In other words, there isn't a full game there yet. What's my favorite recipe to cook? I like gin and tonics. Do you like?
You don't even cook gin and tonics. Let's be honest.
Thank you, woman.
You did used to cook for me in the very beginning of us dating. This is when you were still giving me books.
Yeah. But that would be like letting you play game, like pick my games for me.
We'd be like,
there's skill sets differences here.
It was graduate school, and I would come over for lunch, and you'd be like, you'd cook me some like nice, like, I don't know,
nice,
like like burrito or something, and you used to cook for me. But
I remember you turning your nose up at what I
did not. I did not.
Do you like physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks? I tend to be pretty diehard physical book guy, but I've recently, in the last year and a half or so, picked up a Kindle, which I quite like. I like it because it's really convenient to read. I can read it when it's raining. I can read it when it's dark. I can read it in the back of the car. I can read it on a fucking boat when I'm getting splashed by waves. I can read it when my wife's gone to bed and I'm trying not to disturb her. I don't like acquiring books for it at the moment. Audiobooks are fine, but they're very slow. I read so much faster than I can like read out loud or be read to. Any plans for Hearts of Iron 4 content? You can add it to the list, but not at the moment. Filthy Hellblazer and Fruit Strike made a new Civ-inspired game. Fruit Strike reached out to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, would you check out this new game I made? And I said, yeah, I'll absolutely check it out. And then never got around to it, and I feel a little bit bad about that. I don't know anything about that. That could be cool. He's got a knife that close to him while streaming. That's pretty dangerous. What?
Huh?
I don't understand your comment, Billy. Vasectomy is great. Could be. Listening to your rant at Taylor for using the pull-out method was pretty great. What do you think of... so one of the PKA hosts, Taylor, who's a pretty smart guy, said that he's been dating his current girlfriend for about a year and they used the pull-out method.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, right? Like,
no, it's dumb.
It's just dumb. It's just...
This is really dumb. I think we've talked about this before. Like, if someone is actually using that method, they're actually kind of probably thinking about being okay with children.
Right.
And just like they're going to be okay with chance.
What's your
happening.
Chat? What's your acceptable margin for death if you get in the car each morning? Let me know. Dumb people make lots of babies. True. It's a permanent strategic decision for tactical benefits. I'm not sure you're referring. Any particular games being developed you hope you can play before release? Maybe as part of a publicity campaign or something. I ideally, as a streamer, Neablis, what I play pre-release is a really fucking amazing game that has incredible depth to it, and I get it as a beta where it's good enough that I'm not like constantly dealing with bugs, but I get a ton of time to learn it before it comes to general public release. That's the sweet spot for a streamer, because then you are, at least for my channel, because my channel, I sell expertise to some degree, or I give expertise and get supported based on my expertise for some things, right? Which is basically, if I'm really good at a really good game that has a lot of depth to it when it releases, that's perfect for my channel. You don't owe it to society. You aren't here voluntarily. That's bullshit. I don't know, One Heart. What do you owe to your society? Sounds like podcast talk. Yeah, it was podcast talk. It was fun. It was an interesting conversation. I wanted to have it, and I constantly have conversations on PKA where it isn't a conversation I would have particularly chosen, but I'm there to be a guest and have a thought on it. So I was enjoying pushing that conversation as something I wanted to talk about. Vasectomy doesn't have to be permanent. You can bank sperm if you're really concerned about cutting off options. That's what Kyle said. He just said freeze some of that shit, which is reasonable, I guess. You'd be interested in going to Mars that would deem viable. I don't think so.
That's not really an option. I mean, I could.
What's not?
I
an
could
option?
freeze my eggs, but I have a limited carrying time for that. So
Yeah, it's true. There is the partner element of that.
I can't. Right.
I don't think I would want to be a Mars settler. I love the
What?
idea of. I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about this before, and I thought you and I said that we would, if we were cleared to go to Mars,
Was I drunk?
if we were not too old, that we
That would
go.
be a huge decision. It would be something I would really need to sink time and effort into deciding. A part of me goes, I really want humanity to expand beyond the Earth because I think ultimately I think this is death, long term. We need to get more nests out there, and I think Mars is a good starting location for that. Would I be willing to do that? Would really depend. It would depend on what it was. I don't have a good answer to that. Sorry, man. I think it's a good question though. Would you be interested in getting on a generation ship if it was deemed viable? What type of generation ship? Like generation ship in like the kind of like classic sense of that, where I live and die a life there as the ship moves, and then my ancestors reach a location, or like one of these like frozen cryo sleep kind of shit. I looked at Starbase, don't know it. Yeah, but you suck. Hey, Kush. If you come to the conclusion that you want to contribute to society in that way, that's fine. But the concept of being indebted is asinine. I think asinine is the wrong word for that.
I think we all live a life that's somewhat indebted to society
Exactly.
all of the time. I mean, we walk
So it
outside of the door, we're following the rules of society to make society functional. Like, if I just did whatever I wanted to do all of the time.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
It's a matter of it's not a very strong pull on me, one heart, one mind, but it's one of the things that I'm thinking about. It's a fairly permanent decision, and I would like to have thought through my options before I make something. Have you ever polled your audience for things like age, occupation, and country? No, but a lot of that data is there through Twitch anyways, and YouTube. When you're playing Crowfall, how do you feel about running both sturdy and overwhelming odds as minors and Mudmen and Standard Bearers majors? Is it viable? Not only is it viable, it's absolutely essential. It is in fact the only build you can run on any character. Macaroni and cheese with chopped up wieners, not my thing. I'd say one thing, graduate school is fantastic at making you not want to cook. It's fantastic at making you want to just have time. Is that my cousin? Bizra asks, another Crowfall player.
Do we look alike?
Bizra, another Crowfall player, who
Oh.
the only other Crowfall player I've even remotely mentioned to you being Kush, who I have described as essentially being a loud troll, and has asked, is that your cousin?
Well, awkwardly,
Would you take that?
Awkwardly, we were asked one time if we were siblings.
Who asked us that?
Do you not remember? It was years ago.
Uh-uh.
Someone asked if we were siblings. I was like, that was awkward. I was like, no.
To this, you would say, Filthy, is that your cousin? If that helps your fantasies, Bizra.
There you go. There you go.
Xanabis says,
That
ebooks are so nice and many books in one place to do my husband. Yes. It's really good for traveling, for sure. Ebooks are great for traveling if you can get enough loaded on where like you're not doing. I find them really hard to get reliably without direct purchasing them. And like having interacted with my library in terms of trying to get ebooks and found things like, yeah, Amazon's considering disabling ebooks to this library entirely because it impacts sales kind of shit. It kind of pisses me off a bit. You can read it on a boat. I can read it on a moat. Exactly. Niela says Kindle books also hella cheap and convenient. Sometimes. There's been a ton of great self-published sci-fi. It's really hard to vet self-published books. All right, we're catching up. Spend all your time in cars trying not to die. There you go. 1% of chance of survival is still a chance.
You asked about the question about what's an acceptable.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm just trying to read interesting comments while still catching up.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't died yet. No reason to think I ever will. That's kind of the argument for the children too. Would you be interested in being part of other crowdcasts instead of PKA? Yeah, I would. I think podcasts are. I think long form conversations are a really good way to get to know people and to express ideas. And I find them really interesting. Kush is quoting the Avengers to us. Streaming from Mars would be tricky. Lag on chat would make interaction difficult. Yep. Filthy would get pissed because Mars has a lot of flatland desert. There's probably pearls there too somewhere. Fucking piece of shit. Our startups that are working on making freezing sperm primarily a business model. Marketing specifically to people who want to have their kids later but don't want to risk birth defects that come from old sperm. There you go. The old Mars settler discussion, the real test of a marriage. Interested in playing Surviving Mars? No. The classical generation where you drive because descendants have a chance to survive. Yeah, that's not really interesting to me. I don't want to spend my life on a spaceship going somewhere. I don't want to be the vessel for the next generation, particularly. Having children is optimal because the ideal party size is 4. Well, you could have friends.
Yeah.
You could contribute more to humanity without having more humans. Maybe.
There's a lot of people who, in terms of like the resources on Earth, that definitely are like we shouldn't be having any more children.
Some
so
argument for that.
Sustainability is like
or
don't
rather,
have any kids.
but I think the bigger interpretation of that is we should have less babies as a species.
Yes. Yeah.
Where should you get them from? Just joined, but as an AMA, what's my favorite game ever, excluding nostalgia-based feelings? Probably EVE Online. Maybe. That's pretty close. I think that wasn't even one I streamed. I've had a lot of fun streaming games, and I don't know that game would survive streaming, but as a game that I played that was just the most enjoyable gaming experience I ever had is definitely EVE Online. What's my favorite whiskey? I do bourbons. So at the moment, the 2 bourbons I'm enjoying the most are Knob Creek and, oh my God, what's the one that Woodford Reserve have been really, really nice. These are my kind of go-to whiskeys I buy and keep in the house. Earlier, Frigg mentioned current and husband as cousin. Is that what we're joking about? I don't understand that question. The man whose name rhymes with ocean.
I don't think it was a question.
Okay. Starbase is a space building PvP MMO on my radar. Never heard of it. Please recommend that in the Filthy Robot Discord. This conversation is not a good place to record permanent things for me. That would be a good place to have that. We have a whole system in place specifically for dealing with game suggestions, starting with game suggesting on Discord. It's my intent on getting ebooks legally. Yeah, I like to support authors when I can. Do you have any idea on when your next character will be? Do you have any idea on what my next character will be for upcoming D&D? No, it's going to depend on the game system. I want to play something different. I'm really tired of 5e. Do you ever try the hook hanging thing you talked about on PK? Yeah, I said that on PK too. I've done a hook pull.
They mean the suspension.
They mean a hook pull, not a suspension. Well, they may not know the difference, but I did talk about that. I've talked about it a number of times on PK.
But you...
Yeah. Yep, tried the hook pull. It's interesting.
Yeah, you've already... Okay. You've told them that you've done that, but not the suspension part.
I haven't done the suspension.
Right. Neither... Right.
Okay. Just take us with Mars. No problem with chat interaction. That's true. I guess I don't mean that you're not indebted, but you get to select the way you serve society, so you're not bound to specific tasks like procreation. It's just something I've been thinking about. One heart, one mind. I'd like to be happy with my decisions before I make them. What are you usually doing on stream? Berating my audience? I think humanity is really fucked because it's all poor, stupid people having the children. It's not. There's a lot of smart people having children too.
Rich, successful people choose.
We can just stand a snap about 6 times in a row, then sustain that number. Perfect. The smart, rich, successful people chosen not to have children. I think it's more likely that decision is made there than it is elsewhere, but I don't think that's entirely true. There's lots of smart, successful people who want to have children too. Can't remember if they ever covered the game either. Faster and Light. I don't want to play Faster and Light. It's really saturated, really old, and I think it might have been an interesting game when I played it like 5 years ago, but I think Dolphin has that on lockdown. If you don't have children, then you'll deny the next generation your combined genetic brainliness. Yeah, I'm not sure that is anything except a kind of like self-masturbatory kind of argument. I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at it more along the lines of society I've been fairly successful in life through society, and it seemed to be a fairly decent fit with society. Do I owe it, therefore, to them to continue to kind of propagate that a little bit? I think it's less about how good or not I think my genetics are. It's more about a fit. The distribution of global resources more than the issue than the number of humans. Maybe.
I think it's.
Good night,
I think it's probably both, right? Like it's about people having a lot of kids, and then it's also about distribution.
Sure.
Distribution is a major part of that for sure. Yes.
Thanks for the bits.
Good point, Sandy.
Try Cat Squad. Do you think the texture of frozen sperm is different than fresh? I imagine. Much like the texture of many meats and fish tends to degrade. Well, when you're done swallowing each of those samples, please record it, put it on YouTube, and let me know. I'm interested. Yeah. If you haven't tried Four Roses small batch.
This is we went to St. Louis.
Hey,
is that a St. Louis?
Questions, just thanks for the great content.
Yeah.
Cheers, Captain Waffer. Is that do you think that is a...
That was one of the ones that we talked about going to, but we didn't go to.
Four Roses?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to keep our eyes out for it. Four Roses garbage immediately responded. You're talking about suspension, but good to know. Do you stream your D&D games? I will be streaming my D&D games. Past D&D games have been YouTube, but not streamed. I've never done a hook suspension. If you either use a service like Ancestry, you'd be interested in doing it. Is that the DNA kind of stuff? I have a very strong desire to keep my DNA off massive public databases. I owe to society to pass on my perfectly, insanely impressive genes. Well, if your wife allows you, Kush, you let me know. Anything else on that? No. Are we caught up?
Yeah.
Chat, is there more? Any other AMA questions you would like to ask? I'm feeling pleasantly buzzed, happy to chat. I have my wife here. She could spill all the fucking beans. Anything else you'd like to talk about? Would you like to talk about graduate school, BDSM? You want to talk about sex? What are we going to talk about? They get excited about that stuff. They don't get to do it very often.
We haven't talked about disclosing and sharing.
Oh,
I don't want to have those.
What does that have to do with anything?
I just don't want to have those conversations.
Questions? Oh, you thought I was going to tell them about your kinks? The disgusting human being you are? And all the dirty things you like? That would be terrible.
All right. Are we ending now?
I don't think so. Love the content. Going to watch this VOD. Cool. Can we do this more than once a year? We do it more than once a year. We do FAQs a couple times a year. And we're going to be doing the game review stuff more often, for sure. What are my thoughts on peeing backwards over my head while you pee in public? I think it's the only way to do it. Do you have any concerns about Filthy's chosen career? Did the guys... Oh, that's for you. To Frig. Did you have any concerns about Filthy's chosen career? Do you guys have some kind of time limit for success? What would success look like?
I don't have any...
What would you do if I'm never more than a small streamer?
No. I wanted my partner to be happy. I wanted you to be happy with what you were doing.
Are there any time limits for that?
When you're not happy anymore and you're miserable, then that seems like a pretty good time limit.
Nightmare1557 says, I have a sex question from Mrs. Dirty Robot. Do we like the lights on was a question. TMI. TMI, the lights on? Frig, what's your ratio of research to teaching? What do you wish was different than that? And do you wish that it was different than it is? That's a question for you.
It's a good question. I do a lot more teaching right now than I do research, and I wish it was a little bit different than that. I do wish I was doing more research, but I think just the phase that I'm at with my career, it's developing my teaching portfolio, so hopefully I'll have more time to do research later.
Any interesting MMOs in the horizon with Crowfell still being in early development? It's not in early development. They've been calling it weird things. It's kind of been late development, Duck. But to answer your question, I'm always in the market for a good MMO if it's a PvP MMO. I have some, there was one I did an ad for recently. It's also been kind of hyped a little bit. The Amazon one, I can't remember what it's called right now. New World Prop. I'm a little bit interested in that. You and your wife should start a podcast.
That's interesting.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl. I might be able to tell you who was in it because I asked my brother last night, and it's possible I could search my memory to figure that out. The Patriots aren't in it this year, which means I'm probably not going to bother. How do you know if you're doing a good job for the female?
Wait, is the Nightmare's questions about how do you know if you're pleasing your female partner?
I assume so.
Hopefully you asked them.
Yeah, we got there.
Yeah, okay.
If you're going to pee in public, you might as well go all out. I don't know if that's true. Frig, do you worry about the stressful and competitive nature of academic jobs and how that could impact making future plans?
Xanadu, yes. I'm kind of tracking on more of teaching-focused jobs. So, yes, I think I'm always concerned about that. I don't know if I found my forever job yet. And so
you're starting a new job.
Starting a new job next fall. So we'll see how that goes. It's another private liberal arts college, so we'll see.
Yeah, bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit different.
Yeah.
You like the people there.
They're giving me a really good chunk of money for research, so hopefully that'll actually
translate
translate
into
into
research.
doing some research. Yeah.
Besides asking them, my girlfriend is shy. I don't feel like I'm getting a good answer from her. And you need to get her and you communicating.
Yeah.
I
100%.
I actually read an RSex comment about this not too long ago on Reddit, and there was a complaint from the girl getting annoyed that guys were asking her. She's like, I feel like I'm being really vocal, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest fucking comment. Talk to your fucking partner.
But I think validating, like I understand that this may be difficult for you to share, like this may be, you know, like
sure, you don't
challenging.
have to be blunt about it.
No,
but
right?
It's still,
but
you need
I
to be
really
communicating.
I really care. I really want to make sure that you're happy and you're sexually satisfied. Like, tell me what you like. Like, did you enjoy that? Like, I mean, I know that sounds like it could be kind of maybe mundane, but I think just working through that.
Yeah, I think it's got to be communication.
Yeah,
I mean, how else are you gonna do it?
You're right.
You're never gonna fucking
cannot-
mind read.
no,
It doesn't
no.
matter how much you
You can't
want to.
mind read. You can't do guesswork. Like, no. So
Do you think pursuing a PhD at a different school than the one where I did my bachelor's and master's is a good idea?
yes, I would say yes.
We've heard this before. I think I'm mixed mind on this. I think the experiences you get in graduate school are really valuable experiences, and I think some of that is seeing the world a little bit differently. I start to get a little bit concerned if you grew up in the town that you went to high school in, that you also went to undergraduate in, that you also did your master's and you also did your PhD in. And if you're teaching the same teachers with the same thoughts, etc. But at the same time, like, so that's extremely convenient financially. It's extremely convenient from a life perspective. If you are a non-traditional academic, in which case you're coming back after some years gone, for example, then you probably have a life built around it. You may not be as flexible where you can go. I don't think it's the end of the world if that happens, but I understand the desire to get some diversity and breadth to your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of researching the benefits of drinking a blend of elk blood and sheep testicles? It's a pretty crazy combination. Chris, you are the athlete in this channel. I know you almost made it to the Olympics, and I would be very curious to hear those impacts. Please feel free to record something of that. New World PvP
I mean, I
garbage.
would be impressed if somebody could drink elk blood and eat sheep's testicles at the same time. Like, I would be impressed.
Strong constitution.
Yeah.
New World's going to be fucking garbage. I hope not. Having kids is super tough, super inconvenient. You'd hate it. Yep. But goddamn, we love our 1.5-year-old daughter. Yeah, I think there's some ups and downs to that, right? And I think you're pretty hardwired to find that as a pretty rewarding experience, a large part.
Can I say that you often talk about how, like, male identified people, you don't think that they want to have children, like that's not something that they like inherently want, which I think argue with you a lot about. But yep. I do think, like, there's like everything in life, there's the projection of what you think it will be like, and then there's the actual what it is actually like. So, I mean, it's got to be a difference there.
There's a new 4X coming out called Humankind. Put it down in the suggestions channel. I don't actually know that I like 4X games. It's hilarious because, you know, my first game streaming and the game I'm most known for is Civilization 5, which is a 4X, but I have yet to find another 4X that I liked. And I don't know that I liked Civilization as a 4X. I liked Civilization as an extremely complicated real-time strategy.
It's empty.
Whoa, fix
It's
that.
empty.
There's another one. Let's do another one.
Good.
Let's see. I asked her and we have an open dialogue about it, but she's shy and new to sex, so I don't feel like it's a good or accurate response. Well, you got to work on that then, man. You're not gonna ever get the answer or response to your question that you're wanting without a decent line of communication, period. And if that requires trust and work, that requires trust and work. That's what it's gonna have to be.
I mean, it is not going to happen just like overnight, instantly. It is going to take time for sure, especially with someone who's new. Yeah.
Kush says I went to a private liberal arts college and we had to take so many fucking stupid classes. I don't disagree, man.
No, I mean,
don't
I work
disagree.
at a private liberal arts college, and I feel like that's such a bummer to, like, as a perspective, to see sort of how things are all related. So
Thank you. It's me, Hawkeye. I appreciate that. It says, thank you for the AMA. Frig, what is Filthy good at other than min-maxing and cooking? Anything unique? Yeah, what am I good at? Let's hear this. You can probably finish that at 10 if you wanted.
you are not good at cooking, but only because you, like, don't really do it very much. But I think you are an amazing partner. and you are
Hey, what, like
incredibly supportive, and you make
backgammon?
me
Like tennis.
you make me laugh, which I love. And
Yeah, we're gonna
I
need a
feel-
loyalty pledge to the channel
I
as well.
feel seen by you, which I think is something in my life that with
You're
partners.
complimenting my eyesight now. She's saying sweet
I'm trying
things.
to say nice, sweet
Let's
things.
keep the wine going for this one. We'll get lots of good things from
Okay,
here.
but you make me feel like connected. and
That's the booze.
Probably. Or the drugs. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, let's see. Some reason I chose not to continue in academics. The idea of never knowing what I was going to end up, what I was doing was scary. I think liberal arts degrees are both very valuable and also very scary. What's Mrs. Filthy's academic focus? Frig, as she goes on this channel. Filthy Robot Girl is the way she's asked to be referenced. She is a PhD psychologist. She teaches. It's a social psychology degree, so not clinical psychology. It's teaching and research for social psychology. Kush says things. Do we bother keep reading Kush's comments, or I start ignoring them?
I don't know. The internet is such a difficult place because I don't know if.
But I do know he's trolling.
Okay, then let me stop.
Okay. You're the first person she's been with, and I'm worried that she doesn't know if she's finishing like I am. Do you need to just wait longer and then try to talk more? If you're relatively young and she's relatively young and she's getting to know what her experience is like with sex, there's just going to be, I hate to keep saying the same thing, but it's literally the answer, which is communication on that.
Well,
You and her will need to get comfortable. You will have to communicate to her the desire to have an open channel about that and the reasons for wanting to do that, and that will have to be with that. There's no shortcut to that.
But one of the things that sex therapists often talk about with individuals is an exploration and a knowledge of oneself. So you can't communicate what you don't know.
That's what I'm saying. If she's new to this, it's just going to take time. There's no shortcut to that.
But like masturbation may be something that might be a good thing for her to explore in terms of figuring out what does feel good, like what areas of the body feel good.
Sure.
So
knowing herself. Sure.
Yeah.
Strongly advocate doing your graduate work elsewhere, both to see an alternative way to study and as well to build your network. I don't disagree. Although again, we kind of talked already why I think that being in that same reason isn't that big a deal. What strategy game idea have you had that you'd like to see implemented but haven't seen in any game? I like really in-depth immersive games. I have a hard time imagining that without them being multiplayer, and I've yet to see a very deep MMO strategy. Like to see it. No plan for kids. Ever thought about naming a child? No. I hate naming anything. I was so happy when I settled on Filthy Robot. It was different. It was not taken. It was meaningful to me. It was the solution to having to pick fucking names ever again. Problem with gen ed curriculum and liberal arts stuff, in my opinion, is that so many students, the value never gets successfully communicated. Yeah, I don't know. Parts of my liberal arts college education I really like. Parts I think are fairly useless. All right. Got up.
Boo.
Love is a myth. What's the end of that? Isn't that like a song?
I don't know.
What? I feel like there's, I think, is it Love is a Waterfall?
Love is a waterfall?
I feel like I think that's the answer.
Is that your fantasy love?
I think that's the answer
This
to
is
Love is a Myth.
Love is a myth. Love is a
Comma,
waterfall.
Love is a Waterfall. Uh-huh. Frig, what is Filthy bad at? We've stumped her. Time to move on. Filthy eats a lot of carrots. Does Filthy eat a lot of carrots?
He's
No.
bad at laundry. He's
Bad at
really
laundry.
bad at laundry. He's really bad at folding clothes.
I fucking hate
can't.
folding
You
clothes.
can't fold clothes.
There's no
for
point.
shit.
No.
No.
Just hang them up. Or t-shirts, you can put them in a pile. It's fine.
Does Filthy eat a lot of carrots? No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. He hates. No, you only eat carrots if I kind of force you to eat carrots. Yeah.
How does Frig make me laugh?
Oh, that's a good question. How do I make you laugh?
No.
No. I want.
Oh, it was at me.
Yes.
I thought it was the other way around.
Do I make you laugh?
Absolutely. All right, moving on. two coward comments in a row. Read them, you coward! Coward!
Does Filthy deflect with jokes often when things get serious, or is it just on stream?
It's a very good de-escalation tactic for Twitch, right?
Yeah.
How personal do you want to be, right? And how personal am I going to be with you guys? Like, there's a lot of stuff I'm willing to talk about, but details become the details of my personal life, especially when we're talking about, for example, sex. Like, I'm happy to talk in the abstract. I'm happy to talk about generalizations of that, but I'm probably not going to be talking about the details of my sex life on stream. So am I willing to deflect when things get serious? Yeah, for sure, because it makes that a palatable response to a question that's really not a question that needs to be answered.
Well, but I mean, I was just saying nice things, right? And so you deflected with some humor there too, in terms of like, is it too sappy? Is it too too sappy? Like, is that boring? Is that no one wants to see that kind of thing? I don't know.
Humor is a good way to interact with everything.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to cut you short, and I do want you to come back for the rest of this, but our wine bottle is empty, and I know there's another wine bottle in the other room. Do you want me to go get more wine? I wouldn't want to push you in that direction, but if you were just going to head out there on your own or something, that would be fantastic. It's no problem, Nightmare. I wish you the best of luck with that. I think our education system does a woefully inadequate job of preparing people to be decent sexual partners for each other, and I think that is a part of your life that you're going to care about, and I think having some advice from that can be helpful. So hopefully it was useful. Masturbation will turn your palms hairy and make you go blind. These are myths, but I mean, I guess if you depends on the quantity, Kush. Maybe you're right. I guess if you stopped drinking water or eating while doing that, I don't know if you get hairy palms, but you might go blind. In my earlier childhood, playing Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Online, as well as getting deep into the early exploration of Hearthstones, lost interest in collectible card games. You have fond memories of them. Do you think Magic Gathering digital other products might be appealing? I had a lot of fun with Magic Gathering. Again, getting into it as an adult. I played it a little bit as a child and got into it again slightly as an adult on stream, and then left it. I actually just uninstalled the client from my game, from my computer, because I got too frustrated with playing the occasional draft offline and getting mana screwed. I guess it depends how you engage with it. I hate games. If you want to talk about bad variants, land screws are the perfect epitome of bad variants. They are game defining and outside of your control. That sucks. The game is great. It has so many great interactions. It's probably the best collectible card game out there that I'm aware of. But fuck, does it suck when you hit the variance lows on that. Do you have any thoughts about replication crisis in psychology? I haven't been following much in the way of that. I know there was a lot of publications for a while suggesting that. I guess my ultimate thoughts on that is that this is a science. Science requires peer-reviewed publications. Peer-reviewed publications to some degree are self-correcting in the sense that shit has to get verified, has to be the strongest surviving idea, has to pass the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The repeated attacks of multiple other competing ideas and people trying to tear it down. I think eventually that shit self-corrects. Give it time, give it money. Don't incentivize people to publish shitty stuff. Don't incentivize people to publish results ahead of, or don't incentivize people to publish results suggesting something over null results. This type of shit. I think there's tweaks that can be made to the system to make that better. Given that both of you worked in academic psychology, do you know any good starting points for researching loneliness? I'm intensely curious about whether or not it's part of evolution or it's remnant evolution. Ask that, Phoenix, remind me when my wife comes back into the room. She might be able to point you somewhere. Didn't do any research in that field and don't have anything up to date on that. Hey, question for you. What? Given that both of you worked in academic psychology, do you know any good starting points for researching loneliness? I'm intensely curious as to whether this is a part of evolution or a remnant of evolution. Loneliness is an emotion, evolutionary utility.
The utility of loneliness?
Mm-hmm. I think he was looking for a site. Do you know any sites? I don't.
Nothing that just
pops to mind.
To mind, but I mean, loneliness as sort of a indication that the human connection part is not there, which is sort of a basic human desire to have connection. So it not being there, loneliness is the result of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
There's probably, I mean, there's got to be a ton of shit published on it, but neither of us have been looked into that as a field of interest. Love is a Battlefield. That's the song I was thinking of for Kush. But I think Love is a Waterfall is like equal. I think you could just add other non sequitur, like total shit that makes no sense to the end of that. You know, like love is a tetrahedron. You know, like just whatever the fuck you want with that shit and have fun with it. If you consider a stab at the ultimately massively multiplayer strategy game at global geopolitics, never heard of it. What is he bad at? Crowfall. For a teacher's perspective, does Frigg think most high school students are sufficiently academically prepared for college? Are there any areas where they tend to be lacking? Yeah, tell them about your thoughts on high school students, first year students.
I think motivation-wise, I feel like a lot of...
They're adequately prepared motivationally?
Yeah. I would say, like, in terms of wanting to be able to enter the job market and have the skills to meet it, I think.
Have they been academically prepared in your mind?
No, but I mean, is that ever different than any other time?
No, I'm not blaming this generation. I'm just asking.
I mean, I just think writing's difficult. But again, I don't think that's any different than any other time.
Okay.
You know.
It's very politically correct.
How much do you watch other content creators?
I watch other content creators a good deal. I like end of my night relaxing that way, especially if I've been drinking a lot. I like watching games instead of playing them. I like people who are streaming content that I'm currently interested in. If I could find another Rogue Tech streamer, I might watch them. In the past, I've watched other Battle Brothers streamers. I continue to watch streamers like Deathsea and Ben Stark for Magic the Gathering content if I'm interested in that. I watch Crowfall streamers if I can find them, if they're doing anything interesting in that. Basically, I think Twitch is a great way to experience games, and I tend to seek out other people playing the games I'm interested in when I tend to do that. Not all streams are created equal when it comes to streaming. I tried to watch EVE Online streams for a while and found it terrible. I don't know, a fair amount, I guess is the answer, but what is a fair amount? I don't know. I tend to find it. I don't do a lot of TV. She does TV. I tend to do Twitch streams in the evenings instead of TV, so I guess fairly regularly. Who folds clothes? I don't know. I think
just
that's
stuff
rhetorical.
them in a drawer. You remember that's actually how we started. One of the things we started dating is that like I would come over, and you did your laundry and you dried it and you like took it out of the dryer and then you'd put it on the couch and I would come over and I'd be like, why aren't these clothes folded? Yeah. And you'd be like, I don't know.
It's a lot of work.
And I just was like, all right,
a lot of unnecessary work.
So I started folding your clothes.
He's bad at puzzle games. It's not true. Filthy's bad at reacting to stolen bananas. Not true. Frigg force feeds filthy carrots. Confirmed.
But because you were force fed like cooked carrots, like as a kid growing up, so that's why you hate them.
I fucking hate cooked carrots. Cooked carrots are disgusting. I like raw carrots just fine. Pony play confirmed, not confirmed. How did Frigg react when Filthy said I'm going to be a streamer? Yeah. How did I ever manage to convince you that I should be a streamer as a profession? Tell them that as I go get quick.
Is that because are you joking because I actually suggested that you do that for
I wouldn't know. You should tell them. They don't know the story.
Right. So we were in graduate school together and it was time for us to take our comprehensive exams, which was going to be a 2 8-hour days of essay writing. And we had finished our master's degree. And I was like, all right, I'm going to start studying. And he didn't start studying. And I was like, all right, what's going on with you? He was really burnt out with the graduate school process. So he was like, I think I'm going to take a year leave of absence. And I said, that's a good idea. He had been on Twitch for a while doing some videos and I was like, why don't you just try that for a while and see how that goes? And the rest is history. That seems so corny to say, but that's been the last 6 years. So he's, I don't know, he does what he likes to do and he's good at it. It's going okay. So I don't play video games at all. Never played video games. So it's a world that I don't really understand, which is interesting to learn about. You really smell like beef jerky now. I really hate that smell. I really dislike that smell. It's really bad. I buy it for you, but I dislike it.
All right.
Where did you put the wine? Oh, why did I not pour myself any
I
wine?
have no idea. Don't spill it.
Okay.
The answer to that is basically it was I have a slightly more refined.
Wait, are you answering my question that I just answered?
Yeah, I have a slightly more refined version of that.
A refined version?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've
That
answered that
wasn't
question a lot
refined
more-
enough
no.
for you.
No, there was definitely some judgment in that word. Refined.
I heard that.
I don't think I would have got there doing it full time without her, Epsilon. Which is that it was too big of a jump for me. I was definitely feeling burnt out in graduate school and feeling like starting the process, which is about a 6-month process of studying for comprehensive exams. And it's a fair amount of time each day for 6 months, roughly, to study for it, which is what you need to do well in them. That seemed like a huge thing that I didn't want to do. And not because of the comprehensive exam, that's whatever. It's a comprehensive exam, it's fine, we'll live with it if you put the time into it. It was just like in that position where I didn't really want to be doing this anymore, not enjoying it, finding it all the wrong ways, right? Like work and time and effort, but not like a payoff. And I would have continued because I already had my master's. All I had between me and graduating with my PhD was all I had between me and my PhD was the comprehensive exams and my dissertation. So I think on my own alone, I would have continued with that because the cost of leaving would have been too high relative to what I could have got from the risk of Twitch. But I had a partner who was like, hey, you're really good at this, you're doing really well with this, you really like it, you don't want to be here, you're both running towards something and running from something. Why don't you try it? Worst case scenario, you can just do something else later. You're not locked into it. The risk of doing this isn't that big of a deal. Try it. So 100K channel points redeemed. That's right. When Civ 5. Indeed, friend. Indeed. All right, where are we? Civ killed the camera. True. You watch the rest of the AMA. Have a good night, Nightmare. Oh, cheers. Appreciate the PKA comment.
Love is love in sync. I like it.
Where are we on the rest of this, guys? You answered this before, but how did you guys meet? Lonely people get drunk and hook up with random people in desperation and forget about using protection, so they're more likely to have kids. Okay. You guys have answered this before, but how did you guys meet? And did you share any hobbies or activities today? Oh, do you share? Not did we? Okay. I was going to say today, no, not today. We haven't shared any hobbies or activities outside of streaming. How did we meet?
We met right before our first year in graduate school. Is it yeah?
I think
Yes. I liked you instantly.
You were married.
I thought you were
Someone else.
hilarious. I was married to someone else. It was not being a good relationship. And started graduate school. I had been there supporting him through graduate school, and then it was going to be
me.
No, not you. Right, my previous husband. And then it was going to be my turn in graduate school, and I remember it was like I felt like I blossomed when I started graduate school, and I felt closer to you as a friend than I did my spouse. That was a pretty big warning sign to me that something was really wrong with my relationship. And then there was a separation, and then it was messy. I don't know how much we want to get into that, but
Well, I mean, from my perspective, going through that, like, we went through, graduate school was really intense, and it was a very big transition, and it was a lot of work, and we spent a lot of time very close together doing a lot of intellectually stimulating and interesting things. You learn a lot about someone when they're in a position where they're constantly required to articulate their thought processes. So it took me a long time to see her romantically because I thought she was in a relationship, and it was like, for me, it was like approaching from a blind spot almost, which is, you're like, oh, this girl's paying a lot of attention to me, but she's married, therefore the reasons must be other than romantic. So it was interesting.
So I got to convince you of my value.
Yeah,
independently of
sure.
being. That's interesting. I hadn't quite ever thought of it that way before. That actually might have been advantageous for me.
Possibly.
Because you saw the worst before,
right?
Before the sort of like as a sexual appeal, that wasn't the initial
approach.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that argues for then like a friendship approach before dating, which I don't think is.
I don't think I'd argue that for anyone normally.
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying like as a blanket, but like that's how it actually ended up happening for us.
Right.
Is it? Oh, well, for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't that way for me.
Right. So it was probably like a slightly skewed friendship. Like, she's really great. She comes over and does my laundry.
She comes over and does my laundry. She eats my turkey burritos.
Those were good turkey burritos. I missed them.
They were good. They were.
I want a turkey burrito right now. I'm starving.
I went to the grocery store today and I almost bought ground turkey. I was like, maybe we should do like a throwback and do ground turkey burritos.
I changed your life. You don't live in your mom's basement anymore. You live in your grandmother's attic. Life is great now, making good money at McDonald's. Congratulations, friend. Love is a quantum computer, right? I've seen some graduate students who still don't know how to write. Lol. Yep.
Yeah, I still don't even know how to write. Like, I mean, I still feel like my writing isn't well. Okay,
that's false modesty.
But in terms of a spectrum, right? Of course, I'm gonna be better than an undergraduate because I've had more experience. But like Brad's writing, like he's way better than I am because he has experience.
She's comparing herself to her academic mentor who's 30 years in the business of writing. Yes,
it's a journey, it's a process, like it's practice like anything else. Experience matters, practice matters. It's a skill. So
how excited are you, this is for you, about the new Emma adaptation?
I would like to see it.
I don't know what an Emma adaptation is, but I almost can guarantee there's not going to be in the house.
That someone was speaking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should I ban them now? Have they insulted you? Is that an insult? The Emma adaptation?
Yeah.
Just some way. Okay. Let's see. On the academic preference prep topic, I feel that I was marketed on the academic prep topic. I feel that I was marketed education I wasn't really prepared for, and it was a detrimental thing. So like my GPA as I had to overcome deficiency from high school. I think that's probably true for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of hype around this Ninjas move, but have you considered moving or streaming on multiple platforms? I'm not a big enough streamer for that to be a real decision. I think most of these people changing platforms are being paid enough money they can end a career on that, and I'm not large enough to command ending a career on that. So I have not considered it seriously, but I guess I could be convinced. Here, cooked carrots are the worst. They are. I love how Filthy's camera behaves itself and looks 90% better when he isn't here and Frigg is. Yep. The stupid software on that. I really like to replace that soon. Qualifyings are pretty bad no matter the field. Yeah, they're a bitch, but it wasn't that Neoblis. It really wasn't running from that. It was the fact that I was beginning to have a hard time imagining a future there. Okay, more questions about loneliness.
I would argue that cooperation is absolutely still relevant in today's world. So, but I mean, cooperation in the sense of feeling connected with other people, that's still, I think, really relevant.
Sloth thanks you for getting me into streaming. Nerf thanks you for getting me into the streaming. What was their area of the study? Social psychology. Both of us interested in human relationships. So at one time you got stuck in the wall in the world. That wasn't me. That was her.
Right. Yeah. That was hilarious. That was the best. It was such a devastating moment when I think you realized how bad I was at gaming.
It wasn't bad. It was
when
I realized that this was not going to be something that really, it wasn't going to be a casual commitment.
Yeah, that you and I could, that wasn't going to be a thing that we could do together.
Yeah.
Like all of the other things in our lives, like we can we can connect with and have some shared ground, but gaming is no.
Now, if you're gonna try out RimWorld on stream, yeah, I did a couple weeks of RimWorld on stream not too long ago. You can check it out on the game sheet. And I understand the Google Sheet is a work in progress, not being immediate payment when my current 3 games or expansions for prior installments for the immediate future. We're gonna be playing BattleTech for the immediate future. Past that, I don't know. Warhammer is on the list. The Frostpunk DLC is on the list. Other than that, we'll see what shows up as we continue adding to that. Well, that was anticlimactic. What are you referencing?
I don't know. I think we're behind.
Oh, we're definitely behind, but as an AMA, always behind. Good night, Billy. Love learning about games and enjoy going. Don't always enjoy the games I play, but always come back and check the stream again. Cool. Okay. Any thoughts on the parasocial nature of streaming as a viewer and how it may affect the motivation of some people to prefer it to relationships IRL?
I think that's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't read a lot of the research on that, but
I think we've attended some talks on that.
Parasocial relationships, yes, but is that part of the reason why certain individuals are drawn to certain streamers is because they do feel close with them? I think that's a fascinating question.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Do you have ever thought on that? Yeah, because I sometimes think about that too. Like, what is the relationship like for what you're doing with that? I don't know. I think streaming is a very personal form of entertainment a lot of times, right? You learn a lot and are interacting a lot with a person who's providing that entertainment in a way that you're often not in other scenarios. So I can understand parts of that. There's definitely, I don't know. Again, like I think this is fortuitous to be male in this. I think women get this a little bit worse as part of the parasocial side of what the viewer thinks they're entailed or what the viewer thinks they get from that relationship or what they can ask for in that relationship. And it's been, I don't know, you have to set the culture, right? This is something that has always been a case on our channel, on my channel, is that I set the culture of what's okay to talk about, what's okay to tease me about, what's okay to ask about, the types of questions that I'll answer, the types of things that I'll bring in. Like, you do define that relationship to some degree, but it is a very interesting question of like, what are the limits for that? How does it work? What are people getting from this, etc. Just got gifted 20 subs.
Wow.
Thank you, One Heart, One Mind. Appreciate the support. I'm getting a ton of gifted subs this month. I really appreciate it, guys.
That's really generous.
It is extremely generous. Xanabu thinks intellectually stimulating might have been a euphemism. Harold Hayek's oldest daughter is obsessed with turkey tacos.
They are actually very good.
They're pretty good as a
You used to make those all the time.
Student food.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome. Where Obliza? For her, I think everyone.
Every day.
I think everyone who's at any high level of education has imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Every day I wrestle with that. Yeah.
When I asked about hobbies, activities, I meant figurative today. I need you guys do activities together like rock climbing or playing a sport. We do rock climb together when we can. We tend to work out together when we pretty regularly. We share interests in travel and other cultures and sexuality and research. You do the research professionally these days, but I just am interested in the results of it.
I think I'm both interested in sort of like the pleasures of life, both like feeling good, but also like
living well, yeah.
and a shared interest in continuous improvement and not being stagnant. I think that's kind of a really big thing that both of us really value, is that
examined life, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, seafood, definitely.
I don't know if you call it a hobby, but I mean, I think it's a shared core value that makes this relationship work.
You're watching this while eating spicy Korean carrots. And the carrot comments are cracking you up. I think that would be great. Spicy Korean carrots sound nice. I just don't like fucking boiled fucking carrots or steamed carrots, like with no flavoring or anything. Books are only one page. I read them anymore. Anyone else share that sentiment? No. Is this Filthy Robot's wife? This is a PKA comment then. Let's see. We're caught up yet? I think you find the more that you know, if you if you find the more you know about your partner and the more you find to love about them, then you found the perfect partner. I don't think there's a perfect partner. I think relationships are definitely constructed, and I think they require a lot of work and energy and decision making from you and your partner. But I think that's definitely a good starting point. If you and your partner like each other more as you get to know each other better, that's good. But it's definitely not passive. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen independent of your intentions and what you're putting into it. What's the best undergraduate psych philosophy class to take to gain some perspective in the field? Social psychology was really good. Intimate relationships was really good. Those are my 2 favorite undergraduate psychology classes I've ever taken.
I'm teaching intimate relationships this semester, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it was such a great class.
It's going really, I think, well, but I'm enjoying it. I mean, but that's psychology and philosophy class is going to be very different. Some of my students are taking a death and dying class, a philosophy class, and they're saying it's really heavy, but it's getting them to think about a lot of different really big moral questions about like sort of the purpose of life. So I mean, we touch on that in psychology, but like really focus on purpose of life, like I'm not sure that is as much like, you know, with philosophy. So they're very different classes, I think.
Praise the sub.
Frigg seems neither filthy nor robotic. Perhaps folding human.
I'll take that moniker. Folding human. I do.
What does folding reference here?
Folding clothes.
Oh,
Fresh from the stagecoach.
maybe. Seems to sell you a bit short. I mean, Bob As You was a joy to watch the two of you. Flounder through. Definitely saw the 2 of you on equal playing field, engaging with puzzles. Okay. I think it's awkward case. I think it is awkward because you.
So parasocial relationships.
Yeah. I think it's awkward because like you feel like you know someone, but you don't actually know them. It happens in the writing world to an extent where people think they know you through your books or social media, but you don't know them at all, and it can get weird. It can get weird with what what people think their perceived knowledge of you grants them in terms of license for what they can do or ask or respond to you of. It's totally reasonable for someone to be like, to approach me at like an event or something like that and be like, hey, I love your stream, I watched a ton of it, ask me questions, etc. It's entirely different if they start like digging into my personal life from that, right? Like one thing is something I am open and active about on my channel, engaging with the gaming content, etc. And the other one I'm not so open and active about. I don't know. I hear you, Xanabu. I don't know where that boundary is. It's not clear cut, and it seems to be fairly easy to identify people overstepping as the recipient of that. But sometimes it's hard to say where that is if I were to try to define that for you. So I agree, but I also don't know how clear cut that is.
One of the things that in terms of when you make a connection with someone, it's reciprocal in that there's a disclosure and a connection on like the sort of both sides. And in a lot of social relationships, it's often not balanced in that like one person is sharing more, giving more than the other person. And I think for me, like when I think about like a parasocial relationship, it's like one person is like giving, the other person is more absorbing, right? And like
it's also gonna be what it is like, right? It's one thing like a parasocial relationship where you're like, it depends again what you expect from that. If you're going into it and you're like, you know, I really like your content and whatnot, or I really like what you're doing, that's a totally reasonable thing to take from that relationship. It's another thing. It's like, I expect you to be my friend now.
Right. But I think you feel closer to people when you know more information about them because it feels more reciprocal.
And there is no exchange.
It feels correct. So I think a lot of times the balance comes from the lack of reciprocal exchange.
Well, thank you, One Heart, One Mind, for that. Really appreciate those subs. Absolutely. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I know this is a little bit different. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I think we're getting close to wrapping it up for the night. I told her 5 to 6, and it's now 7:30. So
I've been a good sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
I played a goose game.
Yeah, you did.
I played a goose game, and I played a puzzle game, and I played a strategy game.
It's true. Yay. The strategy game was the best, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Baba game was the worst.
I was like just getting into it, and then you're like, I'm bored. And I was like, okay.
I would have let you get further into it, but A, we had other things to do, and B, I was bored.
That's why I felt bad that you were bored. You're like, I'm sure that you went like your moves go like this.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sitting there going like,
I'm known for the speed in which I approach strategy.
The
Rarely do I
pleasure
spend
house
any time
or
thinking.
I know.
Yep. Awkward like a stranger inviting you to stay in their home? No, not like that. We had a wonderful time with one of my long-term subs with Galga showing
my
us around
gosh.
Singapore.
Oh my gosh.
And that was absolutely
the
phenomenal.
highlight of that trip.
We did it on our
Highlight.
Well, hold on. We did it on our
I
honeymoon.
think so. But okay, yes. But one of the, I mean, being able to be invited into someone's home and meet their family, I mean, that was just like, I think
Yeah,
it was
wonderful.
incredible.
It was really,
I
it
know,
was one of
and
those
I'm-
connecting elements
yeah.
of like, hey, I'm a streamer and I know I have viewers all over the world. And then it was like the reciprocation of that was like, and here's one of the times it's advantageous when you're traveling abroad and you have someone who is like willing to play a little bit of
Like a host?
yeah, a little bit of hosting on the city, like talking about the culture, like showing you around a little bit. Who's, you know, that was wonderful, and I would love to have that experience again. And that was absolutely not assuming too much. But they also didn't go into it assuming they were my friend or knew everything about me. They did it very graciously in terms of being like, you know, like reaching out, hey, like you're coming out here, I live here. Would that be something you're interested in?
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And I was glad to take them up on that. That was fun.
I know, and that's why I'm like, if you're going to Amsterdam and you have the opportunity to meet other people, I'm like, I'm envious that I won't be there.
Yeah, it'd
'Cause
be
that
nice to
would
have
be-
people from
yeah.
the area, from the culture to
Yeah.
to suggest stuff for me for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Where do you ask questions here in chat? Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Jungian. I'm definitely more Jungian than I am Freudian, for sure.
How do you guys deal with fights in your? Is there like a woman screaming?
Yes.
Do you think she's dying?
No.
Oh,
It sounds like
I'm
it's...
not interested. How do you guys feel with fights in your relationship? Do you guys have advice on maintaining good communications when heated? It's a good question.
It is a good question.
You have an answer?
Well, I mean, I don't think a lack of fights is a good mark of a good relationship. I think the process through which you work through those fights is actually a mark of a good relationship. And I think there's a difference between like, what are you actually fighting about? I would say that our fights have shifted more over time through things that like we're doing that we're like disagreeing on, in terms of, I would say I would categorize them more recently as like something we're in a bad mood, and then like we're kind of like fight about the bad, like this is something that made you upset and I'm like reacting to you being upset, and it seems like then it's kind of like giving each other the space to kind of process
A
that.
kind gesture.
Does you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I've kind of, after 10 years of like, I'm like, okay, that's how he sees the world. I'm not going to fight with him about how he sees the world anymore. I've come to a place of like, I get
slightly
that.
more positive than that, in the sense that I think I would say that over time you tend to build towards, you're constantly, at least we are constantly trying to improve, and that means constantly building things that are better for the both of you. So if this didn't work earlier, if this was a point of friction early, by year 5 or something, you're mostly sanding that point of friction off. You're trying to figure out, okay, this thing bothers this person. Can we avoid that? Is that really necessary? This goal is important to that person. We've talked about that goal now. This is built into some of the goals of the relationship, the things we're moving towards. That shit, a lot of that type of shit, which was really early fights, tends to get smoothed out a little bit. So
Right, because I've made a conscious decision that like this upsets this person. I'm going to try to do something different. Or adjust or whatever.
I've told this, I don't know if I've told this story on stream or not, but I walked away from a relationship where the relationship was going okay, but it was totally clear the values were misaligned. The girl wanted things that I really didn't, and they were not compatible things. And it sucked in the moment to walk away from that. I wasn't out of love with her. The relationship was still okay mostly, but I'm just like, this is not compatible long term. And the opposite, I'd say, leads to kind of this a bit more smooth sailing for a relationship, when you have taken the time to have that conversation about goals and compatibility and what you want, and you guys have come to some sort of agreement on that, or some kind of direction on that at least.
I think I would share that I think when I feel like I've lost control, like I'm feeling irate, or I'm feeling like just like fuck it, like you know, when I feel like that, that's the time I have to walk away and I say, I have to pause on this because I'm not in my right mindset anymore.
Yeah, that's a good one to be able to do. And,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's very hard, but it's to give the person space to just be like, okay, we'll carry this on later.
Yeah.
Streamers seem to frequently have pretty terrible sleeping patterns, diet, schedules, fitness. You seem to avoid most of these traps despite, say, being addicted to battle brothers. You usually stop the stream in regular time. Any comments on how you maintain healthy living? It's a priority for me. It's always been, it's been a priority for as long as I realized that was something you had to actually actively do. And I don't always succeed at it, but my rough goal is to maintain my health. I think it's a part of my obligation as as being a partner to my wife. I also think it's just good general advice in your life is get the basics down. These are low-hanging fruit. And certainly I regularly remind myself of these things. Like if I haven't, like if, for example, if I fall out of going to the gym for a while, like re-engaging with that with my wife or publicly helps with that sometimes, or just reaffirming the things that I do physically that are interesting to me, eating patterns, drinking patterns, sleeping patterns. This is low-hanging fruit that has huge fucking impacts. Go listen to there's a Joe Rogan podcast. It's about sleeping that just blew my fucking mind when I listened to it. I can maybe find it and link it somewhere, but it's basically, you could find it. You just Google Joe Rogan and like sleep podcast or something. And it's like 3 hours of like a Harvard psychologist. Actually, I don't remember what his exact training was.
Do you want me to look it up?
Maybe. It was a Harvard trained fucking professor of some sort talking about like all the detriments of like missing sleep. And it was like, oh, it's basically the worst fucking thing in the world. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to fix that. Things like this. It's just too easy. It's the basics of strategy in your own life. So, all right. Thank you, Obliza, for the donation, even if it's not for Filthy Robot Girl, even if it's not for me, it's for Frig. She won't get a goddamn nickel of it, but
What's the cat? Is it for cat?
Yes, it's for the cat fund.
The cat fund? What happened with the cat fund?
Cat fund is going strong.
No.
It's at 0. Anytime anyone wants to donate, we can get more money in it.
No, the cat fund.
Okay. Let's see. Catching up. Thanks, Diablos.
Oh.
Any thoughts on exchange relationships and perhaps how to be patient at times when it leans heavily on one way for long periods? It can't lean heavily on one way forever. So define that shit, figure that out. It's one thing to wait for someone for graduate school or another thing, or if they're in the military or deployed, or if they're, whatever it happens to be, but you got to both have your needs met. It just has to happen sooner or later. And large extended periods of not getting your needs met or not getting your needs met.
Generous bestowal.
Yes. I think it might have been Matthew Walker Obliza.
My phone is dead, so I couldn't check it, but that sounds about.
Sounds right to me as well.
Yeah.
Okay. One more donation from Sifu Gaming. Thank you very much, Sifu. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. I think we're going to call this about here. Let me just hit these last two in chat and then ask you guys not to ask any more for now, because I'd feel bad about leaving you without answering them. But I think this is time to close this up. This has been a little bit longer than I was expecting, and brought her on for our one stream a year. And I appreciate you sticking out the extra hours here.
I heard you.
Perfect. Which European countries would you like to come visit? All of them.
I've never been to Central Europe. That would be really cool. I'd really like to do that.
Thank you, Obliza. And yeah, I have a sick child and confirmed sleep is important. Lack of it will ruin a lot of things in life. No patience, depression. Yep, it makes you a worse version of yourself. No sleep. There's a number like that. Like sleeping schedule matters. The quality of sleep matters. Your physicality matters to a large degree for a lot of your health outcomes. It's just this shit. It's not even like I like doing any of this. And a lot of my life has been simplifying the routines to a point where it doesn't matter if I like them or not, or rather I can find the ways that allow me to do it without it being fucking awful. But nevertheless, you want to do these things. So I love that emote. That's Filthy7 in emote. Thank you, chat, for that. I love this one. This is actually an Eve thing for me, which is the salute. And it's super cute. I love it.
That's cute.
So thank you guys for being here. Long ass stream, fun one. I got to do a little bit of checking out the various games we're going to be bringing. Got to bring Frig on for the end of this. To make our new year. Hopefully we'll hit the new year one next year.
Yeah. No, but I really appreciate it. People being here and
it's nice
interacting, and that means a lot. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll be back tomorrow for more Mech Bay action. We will be exploring how many hours we can spend in the mech bay with no other things at all. Combat is forbidden. But in the meantime, thank you guys for being here. Have a good night. Appreciate the support. See you tomorrow. Later, guys. Filthy Whiskey, Filthy 7. I love them all. I like Filthy High too, but that one's a good one too. Good night, guys.